ready. Call your mama, call your papa, call your friends. The festivities are about to begin. Boom.
Well, hello. Hey. What the hell? Come on, Jose, you sound creepy. What is going on? Okay, oh, wait, I got a screenshot over here. Guys, let me know, type boom and hit the like if you guys can hear me. Let's see if we get this screen share going. There you go. We should be able to click this down here. And if I turn on this camera, you should be able to see me. Uh-oh, cops are going around. They might come in to get me. Hey, look at that. We got closed captions going. Closed captions are good. The camera is on. Or is it? Yes, it is on. Well, happy MoonDay, everybody. We are here. And I am excited to be here with all of you. I hope the cops don't come in to get me. I haven't done anything wrong, but I'm behind on paying the bills. I hope I don't get served to leave the place. I want to stay here. I'm happy with this. I'm waiting for the word of a lawyer type of thing. Make a kind of a payment plan so I can catch up with a few months behind. Uh-oh, they're pulling up. They're probably to get me here. I'm gonna mute myself just in case and talk to them to see what's going on. Let's see. As for right now, please hit that like. Please hit the thumbs up under this video if you're watching this live or recorded. And support however you can. If you can hit me up on PayPal, I really appreciate it. I need all the help possible that you guys can give me. Or Super Chat, that is also a plus. So I'm going to turn this camera over here for a little bit and talk to them. Are they coming to get me? They're stopping right there. They're going somewhere else. Did they pull up over here? I actually was getting freaked out a little bit. I thought they were coming to get me. Maybe they're coming for me later. I kind of expect a visit from them, but it's not that I am in trouble with them. I haven't done anything wrong, but I'm behind on payment, you know. So that's a reality that we're facing. We poor people are facing a reality that there's people in the people very wealthy, people very well stood, and everybody is happy and everything is paid off. Everybody is woohoo happiness. Now, there's people in the middle class that are struggle to pay the bills, right? And then there's people in the low tier of the middle class. That's me. I'm not poor because I got a place. I got a place, but it's tough to pay the bills. You know what I mean? It's really tough. So there's a cop with a lady. Lady got some kind of she got what do you call a clipboard, you know, with papers. Well, maybe she's coming to me. So we shall see. Yeah, hopefully everything goes well. I didn't do it. I was talking to my YouTube. I said like, oh shit, they're pulling up. They're coming to get me, man. Thank you. You too. Have a good one. Oh man, you gotta be happy. You know, you gotta enjoy life. You gotta have a laugh. Hey, we got Squeaky Earth. We got the frog family over here. We got Squeaky Earth number 2. Look at that. And you know what we also have? We also have a mini Earth. Look at that. Now we got the triple whammy for all of you. Look at that. We got big Squeaky Earth. We got medium Squeaky Earth. And we got mini Earth. How about that? I am happy. Now I'm relaxed a little bit. Now we can do. Oh man, I'm sorry, man. I thought they were coming to get me. We got Papa Frog with a lazy eye, and he goes, "Mob it, mob it." We got Mama Frog. She goes, "Mob it, mob it." And then we got the baby frog, "Mob it, mob it." Let's squeak it and see how it sounds. Uh-oh, we got Marvel Merman in the house. Marvel Merman, I'm gonna give you a warning. Put the headphones on. I mean, like lower the volume because I'm gonna squeak this fucker here, and it might sound loud. Here we go. That was loud and solid, very solid squeak. How about that? Would I be the first person that been served on a live show on YouTube? No, not really. Would have that been interesting? Yes, it would have been. What's going on?
Yeah, absolutely. Slow day. It's snowing actually right now where I live. So yeah, I'm at work. So little boom time when it would pass the time faster. So
appreciate that. Hell yeah, man. Thank you, thank you. Hey, I found my little old globe. Look at that. That's good looking little globe.
Ooh,
I
it's
like
a sexy globe.
Yeah, it's a sexy one. It's like the little old school ones. It's cheap, but it's kind of the old school looking type of globe. I like it, man. Pretty cool. Don't dare oil that. I will not. Now this one does not squeak. I don't know what adjustments I need to make, but it rumbles. It goes very fast, but it doesn't squeak yet.
Well, it will one day squeak.
It will hopefully, yeah. It will hopefully one day squeak indeed. Yep. So farmer's voice here. Let me put this baby earth over here so you guys kind of see it. Yeah, triple whammy now. I got a smaller one, a smaller yet, like a glass one. This size. Look, Illuminati confirmed. With the 666 on head. Take a screenshot. I mean, there you go. Now that's for a screenshot. What's going on, farmers?
I don't know. I've only just got home from work, so yeah, that was good timing because I was having a hoe and I thought, do I get the lawnmower out and cut the grass? No, Jose's going live.
Oh no, I'm shutting it down, dude. You gotta get your shit done, man.
No. I can do it tomorrow. Bollocks to it.
You can do it later. Okay.
Yeah.
If that's a possibility, then we're okay.
Yeah, don't feel like you've put me off from doing my chores because you have.
All right. Well, big shout out to valuable members on the channel. I see the responsible trolls, the usual responsible trolls over here, very smart ones. You know, we got Truth Nerds, we have Sean Hawkins, we have, those are Martin. Martin is wearing the flip-flops today. Thank you guys for being members. And big shout out also to, in chat box, Fred Bailey. Fred Bailey say no fighting today. No fighting. I don't want to fight, man. Anamorphic Mind, what's up? Charlie Welch, JM Clog, Real Cygnus, Sean Smith, valuable member, responsible troll. How did I miss those boom signs over here? Clive Wells, yeah, 7, bro. Excellent. Tweet. Hey, are you new? Tweet. Well, welcome to the show. I am new too, mademoiselle. Good to see you, Tweet. John Hansen, John Hansen, the boss man. What the fuck, dude? I was looking for the squeaky earths and I'm missing the flip flops. John Hansen, shout out to you, brother, big boss man. We also have Joe Mongoose in the house. The fanboy is showing up fast and precise. Farmer's boy in the chat. Tiny Captain. John Tahuti and M Stone. That's the shout outs of the day. We can begin now.
Cool.
Excellent. Good times. And we got, of course, shout out to Squeaky Earth, shout out the Frog family, shout out to Squeaky number 2 and Mini Earth over here too. What you see in here is Australia. Thank you very much.
Down under.
Yes, indeed. It seems like in the heliocentric religious mindset, humans are able to live on the surface of a globe, aka sphere, aka ball. John Tahuti, 2022.
It's not religious though.
We saw the cop car, now we hear the sirens. Yes, it is Florida indeed.
The sweet sounds of Florida.
Yeah, I thought they were coming to serve me, man. I thought the cops were coming to get me. For a minute.
But you live to fight another day.
I did indeed. I mean, I told her, like, I didn't do it. They had a laugh. You're good? I said, all right. Keep smiling and lower your heart rate, you know. Just chill, Jose. You know, whether you've done something or not, heart rate goes up if you see the law. I mean, the representatives of the law, like, approaching you or getting near you, you know. I do. Like I done anything wrong. Shit. Yesterday's show was rough. Couldn't take 3 hours of the same person talking. Who was that person? Yesterday was a very open dynamic. Actually, flip-flop JG took over for... I mean, didn't take over. I did my part yesterday. So me knowing that I participated yesterday in a segment of the show, I don't see that as a true statement, as a 3 hours one person show, because that didn't happen. I participated. Bob participated. Farmers participated. Sean participated. I mean, there was like 10 people that participated here. So I don't know what these 3 hours. Maybe you watched another channel. Maybe you watched Arwin, a 3 hours Arwin special.
Oh.
And you maybe a little tipsy and you say like, damn, this Jose show today is unbearable. Maybe, right?
Yeah, sounds plausible. Yeah, I mean, can't think what you're talking about.
This motherfucker making noise, bro. It's a little annoying, right?
Yeah, what is it?
Fucking asshole with, I don't know, like air pump machine or something.
Oh.
So I'm gonna be playing with the mute a little bit. Flip-flop made it bearable, says Humongous.
Yeah, well, in all honesty, Lemonbird didn't hang around very long, did he?
There you go. Lemonbird was also here too. Yeah, indeed.
Lemonbird was here. He just didn't stay very long. I think mainly because Mr. Hawkins was asking him for, you know, the same sort of stuff that he asks us. So where's your citations? Where's your evidence? And of course, as soon as you start to press lemon for that, he gets a bit shirty.
Maybe Jomongus watched the interview with Kelly Wells. My interview back, like on a loop for 3 hours. I said, I couldn't stand that one person show. It was me talking all day long. Boom, I like that.
Yeah.
I can't really remember Lemon ask us for citations ever.
He was asking Sean for something yesterday afternoon. I'm trying to remember what it was, but he was pressing him for something. But I honestly can't remember what it was now.
Maybe he's asking for proof. What citations now?
Well, a lot of flat earthers do ask for, proof, evidence, citations, and then just ignore everything you present to them. It does get
Plus,
a bit.
I mean, what I got him. Sorry, what I got him going is on the young Earth. It's kind of what I got Lemon going yesterday a little bit. And I'll talk about the behavior of people. Why people is so crazy and try to run, the opposite view of their shows and stuff. But Lemon get a little touched with the young Earth topic.
What happened yesterday? I was out for the whole day. What happened yesterday?
Lemon got a little sensitive when I asked him about the Earth being young, just a few thousand years young, besides instead of millions of years old. We touched a little bit into it, but it went a little all over the place. I don't even remember the specifics, but he was just here for like maybe 10, 15 minutes and he left. He left through the back door without saying anything.
Well, I mean, there are people like that. I mean, I know it's years old. I know it's a million, and yeah, there's a saying we say in the kitchen: if you can't handle the heat, get out of the kitchen. Well, I mean, I feel bad for it a little bit, but people have sensitivities. I get that.
Fucking smacked my head like really hard with this fucker. Now we got a tweet with comment over here. It's either what it appears to be, or it's a grand simulation. Is there other ways?
Yeah, it's the old Matrix argument, isn't it? But if it is all a simulation, how would we ever find that out? How would we know? I don't think we would.
We done. I mean, the humans don't know. We can speculate what happened after our time, but nobody knows because
no.
I mean,
because there's unfortunately there's only one way to find out.
And you're not coming back to tell us,
Exactly. No, nobody seems to have managed to do that so far. So, yeah. Whatever else lies on the other side, the next part of the journey, if you want to call it that. Unfortunately, it seems to be a one-way ticket.
Yep.
You can just speculate. It might be another thing that you're going on, another life, another Earth, another simulation, whatever the fuck it is. Next one could be a triangle or a loop-de-loop-de-loop-de-loop. Whatever it is, who knows? Speculation is all we got,
Yes.
Dibs on reincarnation. But I want to be a tiger.
Reincarnation, unless those claims of those people that say I have reincarnated, and I was one time caught up in this little documentary and rabbit hole on kids knowing things that they shouldn't know of history and memories and people and stuff like that. I went down this rabbit hole for a little bit. I saw 3 or 4 cases that have me scratching a little bit. Like, that's really interesting, but is it real? Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm kind of on that same boat with you. It's like, maybe, but I don't know.
You heard of this, right, Farmer's Boy? Well, the case or two of people known things that they shouldn't know. Maybe when they're kids, usually.
Yeah, I've seen sort of articles and reports on this before. I've never really looked into it in any great detail, but there have certainly been quite a few cases of kids seeming to know stuff, and it's like, well, how the bloody hell do you know that? How those aren't your memories. They've got memories of places they've never been to, and memories of people they've never met, or that died before they were born. And I don't know what it is. It does seem a bit odd.
Specifics that are head scratching.
Yes, it does seem a tad strange.
What do you say, Marble Merman? Is it all a play, a hoax type of thing? Or do you think that could be possible?
Can you repeat that question one more time? Sorry, I was just helping someone at work.
Is it a big play, a hoax type of thing? Family, the plan, the teaching the kid, this is what you got to say, that this is what happened, teaching them, and then doing this for, documentary type of thing? Or do you think it might be real, these reincarnation cases?
To be honest.
Oh, he's gone. Oh, he's back.
I think I lost you. Oh, nope. Yeah, I got you. No, I really don't know, to be honest with you.
Yeah, man. What up, neighbor? You look tired today. Oh, well, have fun over there. Poor girl. All right. Anamorphic Mind with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Anamorphic Mind. The first super chat, and hopefully not the last. Let the train begin. Come on, super chat. Just want to say that Tiny Captain is so tiny, he fits in my pockets. Whoa. You taking Tiny Captain with you in your pocket to play later with your Barbie dolls? What? Why did I have to say that? Sorry. Just roll off of the mouth, Now, how about this multiverse? We all seen movies, we all seen TV shows, we all seen shit. Not time travel, but a multiverse, alternate universe. I used to think when I was a kid, dreams that we have, that's kind of some kind of a connection in different universes, parallel universes, alternate dimensions, alternate lives that we have get going on or gone or whatever is going on. Any thoughts on that, on alternate realities or a multiverse, type of thing?
I believe in the multi-universe or parallel universe in a different. I do. There could be another version of me, richer, or I do believe that actually.
Oh, look at that! We got a strong, I'm not gonna say believer, a strong, a person entertaining that idea. Farmer's Boy, what do you think?
Yeah, I won't dismiss it out of hand, but I don't know. It's a possibility. Let's put it that way. It's a possibility, but
yeah, I'm not saying it's 100% believe it, but I open mind of yes, there's a different parallel universe. I'll make an example. I lost my brother 16 years ago. I think there's a parallel universe where he's still alive, but he's in my shoes. That's kind of where I believe. It's weird, but that's just, I'm not 100% agree with it, but I'm open to it. How's that?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, as I say, entertain the idea, Don't dismiss it just off by hand right there. Chike, what do you think, man? Multiverse, reincarnation.
I don't know. Oh, bullshit.
There you go. That's fair. Now, what I call bullshit off the gate and I don't even entertain it, is outer body experiences. Give me your thoughts on that. I call bullshit to that.
Yeah, I've not seen any evidence of that. It all sounds a bit woo.
I remember that guy, Daryl something, Barry something. He was this kind of, globe in debunker or whatever. He came into the scene for a little bit, and he was into this outer body experience. And I called him out on it one time. And I said, like, you're proposing this. You're calling the flat earthers all got kind of testimonies and bullshit, but you are doing the same. You're telling me that you just believe in the outer body experience because he had some kind of a class or course online that people pay him so he can teach him, the techniques on how to do outer body experiences. So it's just for a fucking scam, How the fuck? I mean, how you got any evidence for this outer body experience? Yeah, I've got my experiences, my testimony pretty much. I said, so that's it. I mean, then I can take anybody's testimony of they saw Jesus and angels flying around them and whatever, bullshit, all kinds of no. That's different because outer body experience, there's evidence for it. Where is the evidence? I mean, he got pissed off because I said, like, all you have is your word. I mean, pretty much. I mean, you have nothing to give put in the table as for outer body experience. It cannot be documented. He said it cannot be documented, just experience. I said, oh well, then it's kind of a Jesus, it's kind of believing in God and all that kind of shit, It's just a belief. It's just your own thing.
Yeah, usually it ends with taking money from other people.
You think it's a possibility of that outer body experience? Slight possibility.
How do you know it's out of body?
Exactly.
There are drugs that will give you the same sensation.
Real signals say, of course, outer body experience can be real as an experience. Yeah, pretty much. Anamorphic Mind with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Anamorphic Mind. Hell yeah. I hope there is a good version of me out there that does troll responsibly. Thank you, Anamorphic Mind. Hey, you are a responsible troll. I appreciate you for that. Hell yeah. Artist Live remembers that they're all guy. Shout out to Artist Live, yeah. What's up, Mars Mushrooms? Farmer's Boy was just telling me that you believe in reincarnation, in multiverse, and in outer body experience. Is that true, Mars Mushrooms?
Well, depends on what you mean by out of body experience.
Well, you tell me what is it you believe in.
Well, a lot of things I believe it has changed in the last couple of weeks or month because of where I've been living. There's definitely a lot of things you cannot explain. I've been living out in a ghost town in California. It's an old mining town, 180 years old roughly, and in the early 1800s, about 35 Chinese miners were trapped in the second floor, 200 feet down on the one level of mines. And they got caps. There was a cave mining collapse, and they never got them out. They just boarded off that area. There's some weird things that happen around this place all the time.
So now you didn't even tell us any of those three topics. You're talking about a ghost town, about ghosts now. Shout out to Tweet. Have a good one, girl.
Reality.
Literally like spirits, like dark shadows and forms and shit like that.
no darkness, but things that are moving. That you set them down like on a table, and you turn around and you do something, you come back, and it's not on that table anymore. It's over on a chair. You're like, what the hell? I did not leave it there for sure. That is weird.
It's called amnesia.
It's called something.
Amnesia. You put something you don't remember where you put it, and you see it in different place that you thought that you put it. I
Could that
mean,
be?
18 Chinese miners. There are places that many more people died.
Oh yeah, a lot of people died there.
That?
About one every week.
That's not a lot.
They were murders. It was from the might be fighting, be drinking, and
Go to Dachau. Go to Dachau. Well, what should happen there? You know how many people matter there? How many people matter there? How many people? So
a lot.
People should be moving there. Things should be moving all over the place. And Dachau is there.
When I did go to Dachau, I couldn't go to the shower area. It was so. I stopped my tour there because it was just really weird. And even at Aunt Frank's house, the baby was in a. There's a family with a little baby behind us. And the minute we walked into the house, that baby started freaking out and crying, and cried the whole entire time until we walked out. The entire time she cried. As soon as we walked out the door, stopped. I was like, wow, weird. But I didn't feel anything at Aunt Frank's house, but a little baby definitely did. But Dachau and the other one, they are weird. You get a weird vibe in your body, just.
Yeah, I bet.
There was a lot. There was a lot of
evil. You know what
there.
happened there? Yeah, but what
I
think, there's many more spirits there than 18 miners. Some cave. You should imagine what should be going there.
Well, I wasn't living in Dachau.
We got John Hawkins. This is what's on his mind. There are millions of multiverses. The problem is they're all completely identical, so you can't tell when they cross. You visualize that in your mind. You grasp that reality.
Yeah, but that's unfalsifiable, right?
Indeed it is. Indeed.
I'm a Gemini, so I actually have two personalities around the whole time. So in every multiverse, there's at least two of me. And
one of the more recent shows that I've seen about multiverse, some alternate realities and shit. The one that resonated with me the latest one that I've seen is The Crossing with what's the name of this guy from Spider-Man? J. Jonah Jameson. Like, yeah, guys, this is Spider-Man. This old dude. What's the name of the actor? This reporter. Anyways, that guy. There's a show about they got some kind of in a building in a basement. They got a gate and they cross universes, and there's two exact universe replicas to each other. But then, like, really way ahead on the show, they show one episode how everything began, and that was like really cool. These scientists in the early 30s or 40s, something like that. He was making experiments and shit like that, and poof, something went wrong and exploded. Some kind of crazy shit went down, and then a hole broke in the wall, and then he saw this. He grabbed the flashlight and pointing, and there was at the end like a mirror effect type of thing. The flashlight, as he got close himself, it was like a giant mirror. So he saw himself like that, and he freaked out, dropped the flashlight, and went back. But the other side was doing exactly the same until they went running, and he came back, and they got close, and they spoke like, "Hey, who are you?" At the same time. And then when they got strong enough to get closer, like what the fuck, man, like shut up for a second. And the other dude shut up, so they start talking to. It was exactly the same guy. And then all right, come over here, let me show you this. He showed this one guy this universe. He said, I was doing exactly the same thing, and then this happened. So something happened that exploded and split their reality in two. But then they said, we got to do an experiment to see if we can do something. And I said, all right, let's go to the store. I'm going to buy a CD tape for my daughter. And you're not going to buy one for your daughter. And let's see if that will make a difference. That's all it took to all hell broken loose and bring all this destruction of both universes later on in the future, because one girl had a music cassette and the other didn't, you know. So because this girl was listening to music when something happened and her brother had an accident and died, the other girl was able to hear the struggle and she was able to save the brother. So in one universe, the song lived, the other one didn't. So then whatever happened, one killed the other one, and it's really good, really interesting, that theory of the multiverse. Like everything is exactly a mirror until somebody does something different, and then both paths go shitless. I don't know. I'm blabbing, and maybe nobody understood, but it's still in my mind fresh. That really cool story on multiverse type. Spoiler alert! If you still see the series, I didn't say anything about the actual plot. That's kind of how it became to be. But I didn't give anything away, you know. Really cool, really cool. All I say is Jonah Jameson is in the series and it's really cool. It's more of a drama type of thing, but big shout out to Sean Smith, $10 super chat. Maybe when you are sleeping, your consciousness goes through different multiverses and we interpret them as dreams. Sean Smith, that's what I used to think back in the day. I still think like that. I still think dreams can somehow be a different life, a different universe, different reality of which we live. How Batman ends. Batman and Robin are in the ladder, in a rope ladder on the helicopter, and they're both dancing, doing this Batman and Robin. And with the Spider-Man song in the background, so it's a crossover type of thing. There you go.
Don't think he meant that Batman.
Oh, sorry.
Oh dear.
Oh yeah, man.
Talking of films ending with credits, I've now found myself getting into the habit of when you get to the credits at the end of the film, and if I'm streaming it, I'll fast forward through it to see if there's anything put in. Thank you, Marvel. Because you know that every bloody Marvel film has got a little something slipped in there somewhere, and I've now got into the habit of doing that for other films as well. And I'm sitting there thinking, now hang on a minute, this isn't a Marvel film.
But I actually used to do that, like almost every film that I saw since the 80s, probably. Like, and I tell you why. Because fucking Jackie Chan movies. Most of the Jackie Chan movies, they roll a little bit of the credits and then they put some bloopers at the end. Some little mishaps and bloopers. So after Jackie Chan movies, I used to watch some of the other movies. I said, did they got some bloopers, maybe outtakes? And I used to do that almost all the time. And then Marvel brought it back to life on the after credits. So it's actually not a new thing. They used to do it every once in a while in some other stuff. Remember them Jackie Chan movies with the outtakes at the end?
I've seen some of them. I'm not the world's biggest Jackie Chan fan, but I have seen some. There were some other films as well that used to, they'd run the credits and they'd have sort of the blooper reel. No, I know what you mean, but I do find myself now thinking, that's you look and you think, okay, how many minutes have I got left? Oh, there must be something slipped in there, and you're sort of fast forwarding through it, and it's like, oh no, there wasn't. Shit. Yeah.
Well, have you seen the one? I've only seen it a couple of times, but it'd be like, say, like Jose's show here. After it's over, but there's 2 or 3 of us still in the room, and Jose walking by and looks over and goes, "Are you guys still here?"
Yeah, but
I've seen that in a movie where the credits are finished, and then at the very end, the guy like walking through the screen, he's like, "It's over, go away."
like Deadpool. Deadpool did that. Yeah.
There were several of us in here. I think it was last week. I can't remember. Somebody had sent me a DM, and I thought, oh, he's in the chat. And so the two of us were talking, and then somebody else come and join, then somebody else come and join, then somebody said, "Oh, is Jose going live?" No. I can't remember who it was now, but it's like rather than typing a reply, I'll just jump into the into the channel itself and bloody talk to him because it was easier. I can't think who it was now, but all of a sudden there's like half a dozen of us in there. Oh, was he streaming? No. We're just here.
Indeed.
Yeah.
What's the guy over there across the street looking over here? Don't look at it, dude. Oh, he's looking somewhere else. It's the frogs, man. Leave the frogs alone. Okay, he gone. I'll just the frogs got my back. They do got my back, like literally.
Oh, that's right. It was No Name.
No name made a combo. Yeah, created a combo and got it going.
Yeah. And I noticed that he was in here. I don't know whether it was YouTube Live or Daily Boom. And I thought, I'll just go in and talk to the guy rather than keep typing messages out. And yeah, before you know it, we had quite a gathering in there, and everybody presumed that you were going live. It's like, no.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, it's MoonDay. I haven't been able to. I missed the moon 2 or 3 days ago when it was like full moon because of cloudy, and it was just not a good sky. I didn't see the moon. 2 days ago, I missed it because I forgot about it. Yesterday, I remembered it, but it was still too close to the horizon. I couldn't see it because there's too much buildings and trees over here. So I didn't want to wait the extra hour until the moon kind of pop up above this tree line. So I didn't catch it yesterday. Today is going to be later. I don't know if I'm going to catch it, I'm probably going to catch it early in the morning in another day, When I wake up, it's still, kind of above the trees going away. So,
I shall see the moon tonight because it's it's a clear sky out there. So like last night, woke up this morning to frost on the car. So yes, I should be able to see the moon if I can be bothered to go out there and look. But when you've seen the moon, you've seen the moon.
Until what time roughly the moon you start seeing the moon today? Roughly. Because tonight roughly you're gonna start seeing it maybe at 11 or 12 a.m. 11 p.m. or 12 a.m. is when I physically gonna start. I mean, probably a little earlier, but when I physically see it, like above these trees, it's an extra hour, till it pop over the horizon and shit.
I'm just having a look and seeing.
Probably around midnight for me. Right now, it's nowhere in the sky, or is it?
Oh, here we go. Moonrise should be at about 10:30 tonight, and it's only 4:15. So yeah, got over 6 hours to go yet. 118 degrees east southeast.
So around 10-ish p.m.
Moonrise is 10:35 tonight, so it's
can you see it rise though?
Can you what?
Can you see it rise, or you should wait until it's higher in the sky?
I won't know. I not from here. If I want to go and see it actually rise, from above the horizon, I'll have to go out of the village because there's too many houses in the way.
Yeah, same here.
I can't see the horizon as such.
Same here, man.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, a 10-minute walk, to get me out of the village. Yes, I could. A 10-minute walk could get me over the road that goes past the dual carriageway. Then yes, you get quite a good view from there. But here, no, not a chance.
Let's see what my times over here for the moonrise and set. timeanddate.com will tell me.
Yep, yeah, that's where I went to. It's an 86.6% moon, a waning gibbous. I love these words, gibbous. Why do I keep thinking of monkeys?
Okay, Moonrise is 11:49. Wait. What is the 22nd? March 22nd.
That's
I don't
the
understand.
21st.
Moonrise. There's no time here for a moonrise.
If you're on time and date and you're specifically looking at moonrise and moonset, then if you scroll down a bit, because it shows the entirety of the month, that it should show the 21st.
Yeah.
And it will show right across the day. So for me, the moon set this morning at 7:23.
Oh, because it's at 12 a.m. That's why in the 22nd there's nothing for a moonrise, because it's actually the 23rd at 12 a.m.
There you go.
That's why you see I told you it's right. Like so, yeah. If I want to see this moon today, I gotta wait till like 1 in the morning till it go a little slightly above those fucking trees behind there.
Yeah. Well.
So I don't get it.
If I remember, I'll have a look when I get up and go to work tomorrow morning, which will be 5:20.
Yeah, 10:21 a.m. for me. So I got till like maybe 9 in the morning. Try to see it before it goes behind the fucking trees again. So if I get it, But I think, in the next few days it's gonna be, later and later. So I'll wait a few more days and catch it in the morning before it goes down,
Yeah.
Oh man, that was confusing. Fucking A. Start here, sir. Hold on, and he shared a link.
That's it.
Night and day.
Time.com moon.
Time and day. Yeah, I got it. Yep. That's good.
Actually, that was for London. I wonder if I can make it more accurate.
Dude, there was actually I was watching a cool. I watched a cool. There was a website yesterday, really cool. There was like a sky map type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was having fun. Man.
I know what I did see this morning as I sort of popped out to fire the car up and warm it up because it got a layer of ice on it. I really very clearly see Venus. There's directly opposite my house. There's like a gap in the houses, and right in the middle of that gap, shining very brightly, was Venus. I mean, you can tell it's Venus because it's the only thing you can see, and it's so bright. And sort of quite low as well, quite low to the horizon. But yeah, you could see that very clearly.
Oh, is this the sky map the skylive.com? And I was just playing with different options, and I found one with the solar system, and you're able to lock your point like in the Earth orbit or Mars orbit, and you can switch it around and see all the way around. Really cool. I was just playing with it yesterday. I had no idea what I was doing, but it looked good. So this is for the. Let's go to the actual skyline. Let's see. It show photos like. Look at this shit. Animate view. Let me see this 3D solar system simulator. I'm sharing my screen.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And look at that. I mean, it's not to scale, but I mean, it's for distances, I guess. Or it might be to scale. I don't know.
It's really it's difficult to show the distances and the sizes of the planets scale at the same time because the distances are so bloody vast. That's why in sketches, when you're trying to show the relationship between the sun, the Earth, and the moon, you can't show it to scale because it's just there'd be specks on the screen. It'd be, well, where's Earth? And it's that pixel there,
Yeah. The moon tracker. Let's see. So the moon tracker right here, and it shows really cool, like the horizon, like the moon. Where is the moon? Right here. Do you see? It's underneath. Look at that, how they show this on. So I'm actually now facing. Now this is what I'm facing roughly. This is my west, like
Yeah.
the way I'm sitting right now. So the
Yeah.
moon is like, there you go, and it will continue to go on this way, this way, this way until in the morning it's gonna be popping up through east-ish, somewhere around here it will be popping up. So I gotta wait like till it's like somewhere around here for me to start seeing it in the sky. And that's what I tell him about this sun. Like the sun, if we find the sun right now, which I'm a little bit lost, but there you go. So if we got the sun right now and we continue to track the sun will continue to go down here. And this is what I tell some of the flat earthers. What is the? Oh wait, I was backwards. What is the west? Sorry, I'm not too good at this, and this is not. There you go. So if I continue to track the sun, and this is what I tell them, fucking A. Fuck. The sun will continue to go down. The sun will continue to go down here, down, 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 down. And it's gonna reach a point that it is gonna be reaching this point right here. It's gonna be reaching this point right here. Poop. And what happens after this? What flat earthers must say that the sun is just going away and away and keep going away. So the sun must be doing this and then continuing going slightly above this horizon, over this line, all the way around until it reach the other side on the east and then come back up again. So the sun will come up, 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 and down, down over here. And then the sun will go do this route slightly above the horizon. But what did I see yesterday when I was trying to track the moon? Well, the sun, I was like, where is the sun? I continue going down, and like the moon right now, which the moon is following the path, is going right down below underneath. Underneath is going all the way around this beautiful spherical earth, and it's gonna pop back up. You guys agree with me in that statements?
Yes,
And
I
this
mean,
is like looking through the earth, and then it will pop back up over here. I don't believe that the sun go away and then come over here very narrowly above the horizon all the way around and then pop back up again and go all the way around and then come very slightly above. That's bullshit. There's no evidence for that shit. Like, what the hell?
correct. Yeah, it's just not what we see. I mean, if the sun was moving away from us and going around in a vast wibbly wobbly, bizarre circle-like route around a flat Earth, and the moon as well, we would see them change in size. And regardless of what certain individuals say, that just doesn't happen. All through the day and into the next day and so on and so forth, they stay the same size. They're not moving, because we all know that when things move away from us, they appear to get smaller. Well, the sun and the moon don't. And yes, there might be a little bit of distortion as the sun gets near to the horizon, but that's refractive effects due to the atmosphere. It still doesn't change in overall size. When you have one of these fancy telescope mounts that tracks, anything at all, but particularly the sun over a 24-hour period, why does it spend half of its time pointing at the floor?
Exactly.
Yeah, the sun disappears on one side of us and comes up the other.
Yep.
Anything else is well, bollocks, basically.
Yeah, let me get left lane. I don't know if you saw that, but on a actual kind of a planetary model, that's our point. Left lane, you got that point. The sun is impossible to do other path, but to do this orbit. It goes up, the sun rises, it go all the way above us, and then it go back down, it go below the horizon, and keep going the same route all the way underneath, pretty much, opposite to us. Left lane, what do you think about that? The bossman right there, probably busy, and I'm bugging him. Look. This is Shaik Moon on screen right now.
Got a terrible signal right now.
Yeah,
Oh, you got a bad signal. That's it. That's it.
this from the 17, and the previous one you showed is from the 18, where you can see the sun starting to set on the east side of the moon.
This right here.
Yeah, see, that's the east side of the moon. You start to get shadows there.
That's pretty impressive.
We got Lemonbird says, we must make sure they are spirits of God giving a good word of guidance as opposed to incubi and succubi, demons, etc., hounding the victim in their dreams.
Well, they're words. They're definitely words.
Lemonbird says, sleep is for working out the mind's stress and emotions as well as for prophecy and communication from spirits.
So I guess every animal communicate with spirits, right?
Mm.
You know, I mean, he can have his religious views and his spiritual ideas and things like that. But Lemonbird, planet Earth is not flat. Thanks.
Yeah, I don't find it unhealthy to have your own personal beliefs and think, this philosophy have a different philosophy of life and the way you live your life and what you think dreams are or whatever. Anything that your own belief is, if that makes you happy and is healthy for you, do it. But when you live trying to tell others they must believe like you do and they must entertain your ideas in order for us to be quote unquote saved, I find that a little off. It shouldn't be like that. Well, Lemonbird says, in sleep, the soul walks tethered to the body. It is a dangerous time if the soul is unhinged. Demons and hellspawn can take the soul and lock it away, like in the movie Insidious, if you aren't careful. How about that?
Yeah. Words.
I'm never going to sleep again.
Yeah. Shout out to Sean Smith. Let me know, man. He said one day we can plan it out. I have an experiment of on the sunset we can do. Basically, I will be on the middle of the state, looking west over 24 miles of a lake, while you are at the beach. Yeah, man. Fuck yeah. We gotta plan that out, man. Brian Mavitt throw a link. He say sun going away and getting smaller. I have a prediction. It's a dirt video. Let's see.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Let's see if my prediction come to fruition. Oh wait, it's not. Jonathan Raven. Let me look this.
It's a load of bollocks.
So where is the solar filter of this? So now you're telling me where? Like, let's pause it right here. What is the size of the sun here? This big, this big, this big, this big, this big. What big is the sun in this one? Now let me play a little more. What is the size of the sun in this one? Is it this big, this big, this big, this big, this big? What is the size of the sun? And what is the size of the sun here? Is it this big, bigger, smaller, medium? What is the size of the sun? And that is why there is a thing called a solar filter. Thank you very much.
Yeah, strange thing. All this happens in the last 15 minutes of the day.
Oh man, a little bit of a background noise over there, left lane. Thank you, thank you. We got Lemon Bear here. Lemon Bear, what is that? Those were your thoughts about dreams you were going on the chat box.
Yes, occultists talk about lucid dreaming and astral projecting in their sleep and being terrorized by demons. Incubi also hound one in their sleep.
Is there any real studies on dreams? I mean, I think there has been attempts to study dreams and stuff like that, but it's really not scientific.
Well,
Right?
science isn't the only way to study this stuff. People talk about their experiences and come up with some sort of story to explain it. If you're talking about a scientific method where there's an experimentation, a hypothesis, variables, a scientific body that tries to repeat it, this is before that time. People experienced this stuff, they recounted it, and they gave a general accounting of what occurred. They talked about having relations, if you will, with these demons and getting cold seed from them. It being different than relations with a human person, stuff like that. So they're just generally trying to account for what occurs. And people do talk about having relations with spiritual entities, higher ascended masters, and stuff like that.
I had a pamphlet booklet type of thing when I was like 14, 15 years old about controlling the dreams, about the dream, how to fall asleep, how to meditate for you to fall asleep and be able to control your dreams. And you know what? I mastered that within a few months of reading the pamphlet and practicing. I used to like, all right, I'm ready to go to sleep. Like, let me do like my breathing and my like, the things in my mind, the sounds and the vowels. And almost every day, I knew I was in a dream and I was able to control it. Now, that being said, that is what I'm telling you that happened. And I can confirm, and I am 100% being honest on that happened. Now, you don't have to believe me, but you can. And if you want to believe me or not, that doesn't matter. It's my personal testimony, it's my opinion. There's no evidence of that being real for anybody. Even though if you actually believe it, you say, you know what, that's not impossible. Because actually it's possible because I done it. I was able to control my dreams and being woohoo crazy around and wake up when I was in danger because I used to get in a lot of trouble in dreams. But will that change anything? I don't think it will make any difference whatsoever what happened in our dreams versus reality. What do you think?
Well, I have your testimony now to file away, but there are people who talk about lucid dreaming. And there's one testimony I heard where the person was not in control. They couldn't get out, they couldn't wake up, and they felt like they were being stalked by something that was coming after them, trying to get them, trying to attack them. So it may be the illusion of control until control is lost. But it looks like dreaming is a potentially dangerous time where we may have contact with entities that we can't quite handle, while the soul appears to walk around freely, looking at this world that we're not normally a part of.
Well, my doesn't do that because I don't have one.
You may feel
Anybody?
in control now, Jose, but that may change.
Oh, can you drop
Oh,
the voice, please?
actually, I'm not anymore. That happened like it was like a 1 year phase. I did that, and then I was like, start, drinking and smoking and all that shit. Like, fuck that. I don't even remember those techniques. I don't remember that I'm in the dream. When I dream, if I remember any dreams lately, I can't do that anymore. I did it for a phase. But it was cool. It was interesting, but it didn't change anything in my life. Maybe I woke up a little happier. Maybe I woke up a little more agitated, but nothing whatsoever. Anything. I killed people in my dreams. I stabbed people. I did all kinds of crazy shit. Stole, burned the place down, and shooting around and doing all kinds of crazy shit. Did I change anything? No. Those people that I killed in my dreams, were they still alive? Yeah. When I woke up, yeah, they were. I knew it was
Yeah.
a dream.
Not like your dreams have magical power, but there is a world in dreams of prophecy, of different thing, even entities that sometimes appear to be malevolent.
Shaik, you are the expert on dreams. Go ahead, man.
No, I'm not really an expert. But I remember when I was a kid, I did experiments in making myself wake up in the middle of the night, and it did work.
Incredible. Sometimes you get that sleep paralysis thing that appears to have a demonic attack element as well. These demons oppressing you like the hag sitting on your chest, keeping you from breathing, oppressing you, making you think that you might not ever wake up or live to do so, suffocating you, keeping you from breathing. Cry out in Jesus' name and those manifestations end.
Yeah, we need you said.
Yeah, can you just not ruin this for me, dude? Please.
That's
Stop
a
putting
how
your religion.
to.
It's
In
not.
this demonic
It's
age,
not.
people need to know the name above all names by which they're going to be saved. These sorts of dark manifestations are going to increase, sir, since people are becoming more and more occult, dabbling more and more with this Harry Potter bullshit. Jesus' name is the name by which people are saved, and these demons bow down
Can
to.
you
Keep that
proselytize
in
somewhere else,
mind.
please? I mean, really?
Remember his name when you're oppressed by demons.
Oh,
Remember
fuck
it.
off. Anyway,
Come on, guys. Let's be patient.
Okay, he's just proselytizing and talking shit.
It's okay. I mean, to him, we are the ones talking shit. So we gotta play the game, man.
Makes me want to puke.
That was interesting.
What the hell was that?
I wanted to hear more.
Yeah, the race car or whatever it was.
Yeah, that was a dream. A good dreaming.
It's just a dream.
Yeah.
I usually dream about race cars.
Flying, jumping, running fast, shooting around. You see, that's a good dream right there. Like glitching on the game.
I have had dreams where I've thought, my God, this is some weird shit. I've had enough of this, and I wake up. I've done that a few times before. It's just like, what the hell is going on here? Yeah, time out. I've had enough of this. Yeah. I am able to do that sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, lucid dreaming is awesome. It can help you sleep better. For example, if you have dreams that you're falling, you can pull up and start flying. You sleep about. I mastered lucid dreaming when I was a teenager. I read the book. It's really fun, and it does affect your waking life because you're better rested.
Maybe that's what I read. And I don't remember names. I don't remember the terms. Nothing. I know that I was able to control my dreams, and do like anything I wanted.
I think sometimes somebody's been having a fight with me or beating me up in the middle of the night because I didn't go to bed sore and with bad aches and pains in my bones, and then I wake up and I'm like, why am I hurting?
Mm.
Oh, I might be because I'm 62 years old.
You old man.
Tell me about it.
Don't.
Try not to think
I'll
that.
be 52. Fucking hell.
I try not to think that more than about 12, but It creeps up on me sometimes.
Do you remember when you were on first grade, kindergarten or first grade? You got experience something. Do you remember like details?
Yes.
Okay.
I can remember, as we called it, preschool, and it was at sort of the primary school. Was it? No, it wasn't. It wasn't the primary school I ended up going to, but you sort of went for the morning when you were 4, I think. Yeah, you sort of 4, 4.5. And I can remember my first year of primary school when I was 5. I can remember some of that very clearly. And how proud I felt when I mastered the art of writing the number 8. without writing it as 2 little circles, one on top of each other, but actually being able to loop the pen round.
Yeah.
And write it as I can remember that very clearly because I was one of the first kids that morning to master the art of writing the number 8, and I could go outside and play in the sandbox. I was
infinite opportunities after that.
I was well chuffed with that, and I was 5 years old. So some I can remember back sort of that far. Little bits of it very clearly, and the rest of it is just whatever. just these odd little snippets of memory just have stuck for all that time.
I got a few memories before school. When I started school, I didn't go to preschool or kinder or none of that. I went straight to first grade in Puerto Rico. But I got a lot of memories, with my family and hanging out and waiting for my brothers and sisters to come back from school, and tell me the stories and looking on their notebooks and her writings and all that, the books and shit like that. I was excited to start myself, after seeing them going to school for so long. And I was like, fucking hey, when am I going to school? Soon.
Apparently, my very first day at school, I was so excited to go. I think Mum was quite worried, would I be scared? Would I be frightened? And basically got to the school, and I think the teacher was calling us all in from the playground. It was our very first day of school, and I just said bye and ran inside. Mother forgotten. Yeah, I'm off. Bye.
I remember I actually went a few times. I remember at least 3 times that I visited my dad's school. My dad was before he was a pastor. He became a pastor from the church when I was in first grade. My dad did. But before that, he was a high school teacher. He taught Spanish. Yeah, he used to teach Spanish in Puerto Rico. And in the Spanish, it's like the English class over here. The grammatic and all that shit. Mm-hmm. So he was a good high school teacher, and he took me to school a bunch of times. My mom said, like, I don't know what's going on. And dad, like, yeah, you come to school with me all day long, like from opening, in his classroom all day. And I was just sitting in a corner, and I remember all these old dudes as students with mustaches and beards. They were the students back in the day, big mustaches, big afros, and I used to let my dad, like, all right, like, you give this paper to one of each, and I was the just getting papers to the guys saying, can you collect those over their exams and shit like that? Hey, so it was cool. I remember that, man. Good times. I was the dad's helper in school before I actually was at school.
All right. Yeah, there are snippets. I think when I was 7, I had the morning off. I remember coming back to the school and Christ, Mrs. Dean, I still remember her name, and she sort of said, so where have you been? And I said, oh, I went to get a new sister. I said, oh yeah. I said, yeah, we've been to court and everything. And she said, no, that's not how you get a sister. I said, no. She's adopted. We had to go to court to sign the papers. There I was at 7 going, no, don't be daft. We haven't been to hospital. Mother hasn't had another baby. We've gone and adopted a sister. I think she was 2 at the time or something. Having to explain to her, no. We went to court. I understand the usual route is to go to hospital and there's mother in a bed and there's a newborn baby. No. We skipped all that.
So those the 2 memories, that the 2 extra memories is one day I went in and there was vandalism in the school, and there was a bunch of big dicks drawn with spray paint in the walls of the school, bunch of big penises all over the walls, and swearing words and profanities. I couldn't read them, but my dad like, don't look at that, don't read that. I said, I can't read. I can't read. I know what they say. Don't look at the drawings. I said, oh, I know what that is, you know. I understand that. And it was a bunch of cops and a bunch of shit going on that day. Another day, there was a shooting. Like, pa, 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 everybody down, whoa. And it was like, I don't know, a bunch of shootings around. And that was it, you know. Those were vivid moments for me. Just going to school when I was a kid.
No, Dora, my teacher wasn't too you. Oh, dear. Winding me up. I remember we were sitting in the main hall having our school dinner, and remember looking out of the window across the playing field and watching an American F-111 fighter bomber crashing a few miles away. That was bizarre. That came down by another school, the sort of the next town over. But yeah, looked out and what's that? You know, got home and of course that was on the news. Yeah, American aircraft crashes.
And there was I remember an earthquake that happened one day after my brothers and sisters went to school. So it was, I don't know, maybe 6, 7, or 8 in the morning, and I was awake, and my dad was in bed. Or was it before they went to school? It was early in the morning one day in Puerto Rico, and I was a kid. I was maybe 3 or 4 or 5, and everything starts shaking. And my mom running like, oh my God, what the hell? And my dad like, oh. I remember me looking freaked out because I was holding the frame of the bed. And my dad like lift his head like, oh, don't be shaking the bed, leave me alone. And then my mom came in running like, oh my God, it's an earthquake. And I don't know, man. What if I Googled that? Would I find that? I mean, well, I was born in 75. Let's say an earthquake in the 80s, maybe 79 or 80. Earthquake in Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico, 1979. And see what shows up. Oh, wait. Earthquakes in Puerto Rico, earthquake in Puerto Rico had a magnitude 5.3. All right. Was hit total transit with magnitudes of 4 or more in 1979. Fucking A, yeah. Because if I put 1980, I think, I don't know, 80. List of earthquakes in Puerto Rico. Wikipedia, okay. You should give a table right here, right? 1970. Oh, 1670. Damn.
Yeah. Keep going.
Okay. 1970-ish. Somewhere around here.
There you go. 1979 to 6.1.
Yeah, that was a big. Yeah, that probably was felt. Yeah,
good a bit.
I remember it was a big one. Yeah. I don't think this one. Maybe no. I think this is one of the biggest ones. And this was not because I was already in school by this then. It was before school. So this might be it. Yeah.
6.1. Yeah.
And what time? Will you give me a time? I mean, how do I find more information on this one? Latest earthquakes. Copy. Paste. Earthquake. It was early in the morning, bro. What do I click? 1929, 323. Right.
No, not that one. That's California.
No. Oh, fuck.
You got Greece in California, yeah. You.
San Pedro. Yeah, he's not gonna give me a date, right? Specific. US.
That might have a list of all. I mean, it says significant. I mean, the 6.1 sounds fairly.
It sounds heavy.
Look, scroll down. There we go. They're in. I thought they're in some semblance of order, but maybe not. You look for a 6.1 in. God, I can't think where it was now. Maybe not.
It was insignificant.
Oh,
So,
really?
of Puerto Rico, of Puerto San Jose. No, that's not it.
I'll tell you
Yeah.
what, if we had the 6.1 over here, we'd know about it. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
we get earthquakes that people. Yeah. Oh, there's an earthquake last night.
well.
Oh, was there?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're not in an area known for fractures, fault lines, and earthquakes.
Yeah. It was like a solar eclipse. I also remember when I was a kid, but I don't know if that was before I was in school or right in the beginning of school. So it was either 79 or 80, 79, 80 or 81. There was a solar eclipse that was seen in Puerto Rico. It wasn't a full solar eclipse, but it was almost a full solar eclipse in Puerto Rico. Yeah. Like that.
We had one over here in the late 90s, I think. And of course, typical English weather, you didn't need anything special. You didn't need to protect your sight to go and watch it because it was so bloody cloudy, you could watch it through the cloud. You certainly didn't need a solar filter.
Brian Mabbott is onto this shrinking sun. He shared a few more links. Let me see. See different ones? Let's see what this is. Let me loop it and mute this. Another one.
That, yeah,
Where
you
did
can
the sun
see
go?
that's just that. Oh, look, it went beyond the horizon. Oops.
Yeah, look at that glare. This is glare.
Glare, that's all glare. And then you'll see the glare get reduced and you'll see the actual size of the sun. And then it disappears below the horizon. Oops.
Brian, it's just not getting smaller. It's just getting less glare. And now we actually got somehow the actual size over here. It's not getting smaller. The hell are you on about?
And it sets.
And there's he shared another link. Let's see if it's a spam or a different one. All right. We'll mute this. Same issue. We got a bunch of glare, and then we got almost no glare over here.
It does not go down.
Then,
it just went down.
And then it just got slightly faded with these thick clouds over there too. It's just
bollocks.
It's some kinds of look dirt.
No, dirt. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, because Brian Mabbott sings David Weiss's praises all over the place. He says he doesn't accept anybody and doesn't treat anybody with authority, but dirt. Yeah.
Yeah, Brian
over the place. Yeah.
Brian believes dirt.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. You can believe whatever you want, Brian.
Yeah, don't make you right.
I mean, there's 3 links. You posted 3 links, maybe more over here. You can come over and tell us about which is any of the links that you want us, and we'll analyze it and tell us then the mechanics of it if you're there. Look again. All right, he shared another link. Is this repetition? This is a different one. All right. This is not even nothing about getting smaller.
It just says beyond the horizon.
This is just a big ass whatever, this.
Somebody's got one of those filters on his lens that make it, I can't think what it's called there, but it makes it do that. You get those rays of light.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to set beyond the horizon.
And it went down inside the water.
Water
must be boiling there.
That's that video, I think, is from Phuket Word.
Yeah. Now,
does look familiar.
What is happening here, Brian Mabbott? I'm going to pause it right here. Boom. Right now, we're missing the bottom half of the sun. And if you aren't telling me this, I don't think you will. I am telling you what's going on here. This sun is going inside the water. This is water, big ocean, and the sun is going inside the water. As it touches the water, the water is just boiling instantly, like instantly boiling. So the water is just boiling until the sun just go in the water. One is all the way down in the water. It just evaporates. It just disappears, and it come up from the water somewhere else in the world. Are you agree with that, Brian Mabbott? That makes sense, right? So now If Brian Mavic believed that this sun is getting tiny and going away, now what happens with this sun? Because this is the area where the sun sets, the sun will rise in the opposite side of this, over here in this side. So do you think the sun now gets so small we don't see it, and then as we don't see it, it goes around this, all the way around about the horizon, all the way around, and it come up from this side. So it can do this again, and it just get really small, really small. Or do you think does it go around all the way above the horizon, this side, all the way around, and then it come back up over here? Is Brian's Mavic's video, not mine. That's so fucking ridiculous. Makes no fucking sense whatsoever. Sorry.
Yeah, just a bit.
Yeah, the sun needs to cool off every night. The sun goes in the water. It sometimes it dissipates and it comes from the other side, but sometimes the sun just cooling off and just hauling us under the oceans to come back up from the opposite side to come and rise again. The sun rise again. So it's your choice, you know. All right, I see homosexuality talk over here. We're gonna stop that topic in the YouTube chat box, please. There's nothing to do with. We're not talking about that today. We're not talking about homosexuality today. So, can you guys please stop it in YouTube chat box and stop the topic, please? Thank you. Yeah, the sun gets smaller and it goes away, says Brian Mavic. So, Brian Mavic, the sun gets smaller, it goes away. So, another big sun coming from the opposite side as the sunrise, or is it the same sun that grows, grows, and come back up from the opposite side? If one gets smaller, it must get bigger at any point, right?
Yeah.
Septepi gets it. The sun goes down in the water, inside the water, cools down as it haul ass under the ocean to come up from the other side. Septepi get it. Sorry, farmers, go ahead.
See, Branch just said perspective, but perspective is why we see as things move further away from us, they appear to get smaller. The sun doesn't do that. Because, Brian, all you're showing is videos where the glare is getting less and less until what you're actually left with is the actual size of the sun. The sun doesn't actually look as big as we think it does, because most of the time we're seeing the glare. When you remove the glare, the sun is surprisingly small, only because it's so bloody far away. And it doesn't change in size, not over any given day. I mean, during the year, yes, it does change size ever so slightly.
I know what happens. Pakaka, you fucking cunt! Pakaka!
Ludicrous.
Pakaka! That's the new perspective. Pakaka!
You laying an egg?
No, I'm just saying pakaka. That's perspective
Okay.
in flat earther language. Pakaka.
Yeah. Yes, Charlie. Well, yeah, perspective, the battle cry, flatardia. When it is perspective, they come up with 101 different excuses. When it isn't perspective, it's perspective. It's the inverse perspective law.
Bro, Alim. Oh, Chaik, go ahead. Chaik, go ahead.
No, I just said perspective zone.
I was going to ask, Bro, Alim, do you know about this sun? The sun goes inside the oceans as it cools off, and then it goes very fast to rise in the other side, right? It's ludicrous. It's distorted.
No one's telling us to make our mind up yet. Our minds are made up. The sun doesn't set you to perspective. That's just nonsense.
Let me ask Eugenus. When I see a video of a sunset, I see the sun, I see a big blob of glare, and then as it approaches the horizon, it gets smaller and smaller and smaller until I actually see the sun, and it appears to get really small, and then there's a point that it touches the water, and if you pay attention, it's starting to disappear from the bottom up above the water until we don't see it no more. Is the sun going inside the water in the ocean as it haul ass across the oceans to the other side? It grows in the process, it cools off in the process, and then we get a sunrise again. Is that what happens? Is that the mechanism?
No, that's not what happens.
No, it isn't.
But
Well,
I think you did
as I
ask
see
me,
the
and I was,
videos, but as I see the videos that they present, that is what I see happening.
well, you're making a really good point, and yeah, sorry I didn't answer before. I was at the cash machine, but check this out. You're making a good point because the Greeks, like the ones that didn't know that the Earth was a sphere, the ones that hadn't figured it out yet, made that observation. They're like, look, the sun's going beneath our feet. It's going below our eye line. How is that big thing going below us? And so they came up with the idea of the underworld. And Pluto and Hades. So, but they at least got one thing right. It does appear to go below.
Go in. What do you think, Eugenus? Now, your thought. You heard my explanation on how flat earthers sunset and sunrise works. Go ahead, man.
Well, it obviously doesn't go away. That's the first thing, right?
Mm.
That. In fact, I looked up the word set, and it goes back to the Greek word katabasis, means going down.
Right. So the whole entire idea in flat Earth is that it's moving away, but that just isn't how it works. That isn't what we see. That's not what anyone observes. So there's something going on that requires the flat Earth mind, if you will, to see it that way. It's the same reason why the gravity has to be destroyed. It's required in order to keep the idea of flat Earth. The sun is going away, but no, it doesn't actually touch the water.
No.
What?
It's
man?
a very
Shattered my dreams.
it's a very rudimentary and simplistic way of looking at things.
It looks like looking down the
ancient
hallway.
people could be forgiven for making these kinds of mistakes.
Janus, it
We're
looks
not
like
in
looking
ancient
down a
times anymore,
hallway
are we?
where the object is approaching the level of the eyes of the observer. It looks just like looking down a hallway, more or less.
Yeah.
Hallway.
No, it's not.
All right, let Lemon Bird talk to Eugenus for a few minutes, guys, please. We already talked to Lemon for a bit. Let's let Eugenus, if you're happy talking to Lemon, Hughes, go ahead, man.
Yeah, go ahead.
It looks like looking down a hallway. Approaching the level of the eye of the observer. If you're too close to the ground, you don't have enough room for symmetry. You only have room for 6 feet up, down, left, and right from the level of the eyes. And once you break that 6-foot symmetry with the 6-foot zone converging to a vanishing point, your ratios are going to be thrown off visually. And stuff that's taller than that zone will tend to set bottom first because of the lack of visual symmetry.
What?
You're 6 feet off the ground. You effectively have a box that's 6 feet up from the level of the eyes, down, left, and right. I don't know if you're able to visualize this. A lot of the people in these discussions are extremely left brain and have this aphantastic or aphantasic sort of take on their ability, if at all, to visualize anything. But try to think of a box that's 6 feet by 6 feet in your mind, if you can, centered on the level of the eyes. That's what you have when you're 6 feet off the ground if you're around 6 feet tall. And just like any 6-foot object, a 6-foot broom, a 6-foot pole, it will approach a vanishing point. So your visual zone will eventually disappear of 6 feet by 6 feet and approach a horizon line, essentially.
You mentioned aphantasia. You said people can't visualize it. Can you visualize it?
Yes,
Visualize it enough
quite
to
easily.
draw it and
Alem.
present it without
Well,
words?
I don't have time
Alem.
for that.
Yeah,
If you have
Alem.
aphantasia or you're too left brain to imagine it, I don't know what to
Yeah.
tell you. I'm not drawing
You
this
gotta
shit.
let Hugh Janus wanted to answer Lemon, so let's try to interrupt.
I'm trying to see how you're seeing it.
Just
Oh,
try to
I-
imagine a 6-foot by 6-foot box centered at the level of the eyes, Hugh Janus.
Right. Okay. What I prefer to do is, instead of doing that, I prefer to look at what I actually see in reality in the real world, and when I see a sunset and how the sun behaves through the course of the day, rather than imagining hallways and things. No, not to dismiss your analogy, but let me ask you this question: how high would you say the sun is from? Well, far from would you say the sun is from the Earth?
Triangulates to about 3,000 miles away, roughly.
Right? Who did that?
All you have to do is get a 45-degree angle to the sun. At that point, you have equal distance from you to the subsolar point of the sun and from the subsolar point up to the sun, because it's a 45, 45, 90 right triangle. So at that point, it's around 3,000 miles away when you get a 45-degree angle at the sun.
Okay. What of the actual measurements of the distance to the sun that have been done?
Like what? I haven't seen any. I've seen a bunch of calculation. They time how long it takes for light to travel. How do we know that light is traveling uniformly? Light's travel may vary from medium to medium. And if space is a medium like an ether, a thick, treacly, fudgy sea of space that we're swimming in, it may be thicker up there, making the light travel faster or slower than down here, changing its rate, changing the distance.
Okay,
so all I've seen is a bunch of calculation without anybody actually walking up to the sun to verify any of this stuff.
Okay, so that's dismissed on the basis of suppositions that there may be a medium that's interfering with the speed of light.
The distance to the sun, exactly, Hugh Janus. I haven't even heard that.
Well, what I'd prefer to do is just go with presuppositions like that, ideas like that, rather than doing that, going with what we basically know of what space is composed of, right? Would you?
Space is nothing out of one side of your mouth. How can nothing exist? That makes no sense. Space would have to be a thick, trickly, fudgy substance of some sort for it to even exist.
All right, but you're imagining a thick, trickly substance.
Yeah. What else is slowing down the light?
Why would you imagine that?
Split?
But from where does that idea derive?
You split the light in the interferometer. Hugh Janus, you're not really offering any answers. You're just questioning.
I asked you a question.
And I'm not going to submit myself to any sort of interrogation from the likes of you or anybody else after 5 years in this arena. So, Hugh Janus, when you split light in an interferometer, the light down. That implies
Jose, I think I'm done with
substance. Hugh Janus, I'm not done.
No,
I'm sorry. Slowing down the light and making it come back out of phase. Hugh Janus, if you're not going to listen to me, I'm going to gish gallop all over you. Just let that be known, Hugh Janus. I'm done with all of this.
You're preaching that.
Hugh Janus, you go ahead and respond now that I'm done with my point. Please go.
No, he's already said he's done with you. Waste of time. I agree with him, but
I won't deal with that. Within 30 seconds, he's already saying the likes of you. I won't talk with that. I won't talk to
Great. Anybody else?
I would like to point out something regarding the triangulation of the sun. If you use a sextant and mark it at zenith and mark it at 1 degree, it triangulates to 3959.
Yeah. Once you drop the assumption that the Earth is moving millions of miles through space, your triangles get much smaller and your triangulation gets different. You can't even triangulate around the object. So assuming that the sun is millions of miles away and extremely huge is going to exaggerate your triangulation anyway. You have to surround an object to triangulate it accurately.
The 3959 comes from using a flat baseline while presupposing a flat Earth and using a sextant.
Well, we don't feel movement, so why are we assuming that the Earth moves millions of miles through space? That assumption is unnecessary.
At what point did I say that?
That's
said
what
using
you
the very
need to
I
get
said
anything bigger than
I said
3959
using
in
the
your
very
globe model.
I said using essentially the very method that Nathan Oakley, Quantum Racer, 10th Man, and a bunch of other flat earthers have said to use comes up with the result 3959.
Then we agree up to that point. Great. We have a much smaller distance than the millions of miles that the globers invoke.
No, we don't agree.
Why not, Hugh Janus?
And because you haven't verified anything, you've just said words
Neither
relating
have you.
to the topic. You haven't actually verified anything,
Neither
actually
have you, but we
measuring
have
the
less
distance to the sun,
assumptions.
for example. I would suggest measuring the distance to the sun. I wonder how you'd go about doing that.
How would you go about going to the sun and doing a measurement? As far as I can tell, all the globers have are a bunch of calculations. So since all they have are a bunch of calculations, then we can present calculations too from another standpoint. How did you measure the sun, Hugh Janus?
How did I measure the sun? Look, I don't know. How would you measure the distance to the
Question
sun?
for a question? Okay, fine. I'll just go ahead and answer it. You guys shot light and calculated some sort of rate. You basically say that light travels 186,000 miles a second or whatever. You said you got like 2 or 3 seconds to the sun or whatever the hell you did. And then you calculated a distance based off of that assumption. But we need to see whether light is traveling 186,000 miles per second or speeding up or slowing down in some sort of medium. That's a high assumption to assume the light travels uniformly in all media in all areas. That can't be verified. So at that point, it's a high assumption. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm sorry for you, but that's not an assumption.
You can use a process of illumination.
You can use a more reasonable.
The sun being local.
Yeah, you
It's
can
actually
use
quite simple.
Sorry.
Angular size over time, 6 hours.
Lost you.
Yeah, we lost you, man.
You're breaking up, and then you broke up.
Can you hear me now?
Still roboting.
Anyway, it's a high assumption to say that light traveling at this rate is some sort of constant. Some people don't even think of light traveling like a bullet in that sense. Some people think that there's this wavy, oceany medium that we're all swimming in, that it's everywhere. And the only thing that's traveling is the wave, like a ripple in the ocean, while the ocean itself doesn't move. So thinking of light moving like a bullet in some sense appears to be highly inaccurate. If the sea of space, the ether, is everywhere and can ripple and vibrate in any way to manifest a light wave or a light pattern. So I wouldn't even go with light traveling like a bullet.
You're supposing an ether and
totally
supposing some.
alien. What I think now about light.
That's just imagination. You're proposing all these things without actually giving any indication that they could possibly exist. There's no ether. There's no treacle or anything for light to get through. You know what space is, pretty much.
Then why does light slow down when it's split in an interferometer if space is not a treacly, fudgy substance slowing down the light in the interferometer? Can you explain it? I haven't really heard globers give an alternative to space being a substance that is slowing down the light in the interferometer at all.
Well, an alternative isn't necessary. You're just proposing an imaginary treacle. That's really all that's going on. You're just saying, oh, it may be a treacle. Well, just saying it may be a treacle is one thing, but actually measuring and actually doing the science is another thing. You probably want to do the science and then, come up with the idea of a treacle. But until then, you're just saying the word treacle.
But science is also done by frameworks, some proven and unproven, just to power experimentation and go ahead. Most people think of space on these terms if they want to do anything, substantive experiment-wise. They think of space as a solid substance that flows and moves, can, thicken, distort, warp, or whatever. That would tend to be under ether, not this idealized vacuum nothing of the Epicureans from Greece or whatever. So the thing that appears to give them the experimental money, if you will, and power their thought and light up their mind and their experimentation is thinking of space as an etheric, treacly fudge, not thinking of it as nothing.
Right. Well, that's what I mean. You're giving these ideas that people think of these things and imagine these things rather than actually go there and find out. Well, people have gone there and have found out. So these imaginary treacle substances that you suppose space may be made of, you don't know, are all very nice, but at what point are we going to ever see any evidence of such a thing?
Well, this is what people use when they go forward. Otherwise, experimentation stops, vision stops, like in your
with all due
asynchronous
respect,
brain.
with
We
all
can't
due
even think
respect,
about
we
the six
have
by
gone
six
forward.
box that's centered at the line of sight of the observer. So if they want to power forward and go forward with some sort of way forward, experimental wise, framework wise, theoretically, they think of space as a treacly fudgy substance in
Who's
all
they?
but name only.
Who is they that think of this treacly
You'll
space?
figure it out, Hugh Janus. You'll figure it out.
I'm asking you a direct question. Who is saying that space is treacly?
There's Malcolm Bowden. He talks about the experiments that point toward geocentricity. He's a glober, but he does acknowledge that the experiments appear to point to an Earth that's in the center that's not moving through space. He talks about space being a treacly fudgy substance. The way that people in Dayton Miller's time appear to have treated space as some sort of flowing substance in the interferometer.
All right. Has he been into space and found out firsthand?
Leaving in the ether.
Did he ever go into space and find out firsthand? Or did he just propose these ideas and as concepts and such? I mean, there are two lots of people. Some have been into space and have found out directly, and some have not.
I got a quick
in the camp that says that space is not void of the people who have not been into space.
Talking about
Mr. Hugh. There's space down here with us as well. Since
I'm talking about outer space.
Hold on, Hugh Janus yet again. I'm almost done. Down here, space is mixed with other objects. Up there, it's just pure under the firmament dome. But what were you saying?
I was just saying there are two camps of people. One camp has been into space and has found out directly by experiencing it directly that what it is, and all of those people have accepted basically the vacuum of space idea, and the other camp has not been into space and has not experienced it directly.
Tiny amount of people, right? Like a few hundred people. That's the one camp, and then the billions of people is the other camp, right?
It's about 600, I think, ish.
600. Growing,
yeah, a few hundred. Yeah. 100,000 people have gone to space, so that's one camp. 100,000 people is one camp, and then billions of others is the second camp. All right.
Right, that's true. But if someone climbed a tall mountain, how many people have been up to the top of Everest? And
how many people have been in top of mountains?
No, but let's say who's been to the top of Mount Everest? That's relatively very few people.
Thousands of people. Yeah.
So
thousands.
I could suppose
it's a bigger camp than the ones that have been in space.
Right, but I could suppose that there are pygmies at the top of Everest, and they live in caves at the top of the mountain. I could suppose.
And I can go there. I can go to the top of the mountain if I would. Then I say I want to figure it out. I'm going to go. I can't go to space.
You cannot.
None of us can.
Yes, you can.
Slight little tangent here. There's been actually only about 10 people that have been to the bottom of the Mariana Trench, yet it still exists.
I mean, yeah, it really is still there.
I want to read this comment of RT96 for a $2 super chat. Thank you very much, sir. Lemonberg, remember that fudge is not a natural occurring phenomenon. Boom!
Boom. Fair
enough. But
I came in late. I didn't realize.
Sorry.
I came in late. I didn't realize I was talking to Flip Flop. I apologize.
No, I'm always here, man. I'm always here.
Always lurking, watching, listening.
Always trying to find my way to stab in the rib cage. Like, oh yeah, I got you. You expose yourself.
No, it's very, very good to have your ideas questioned and challenged. It's very, very good.
I like it. I like this approach. He's the very hardcore skeptic type of guy, A little bit of, some people might think denial, I'm just in denial, but I'm not. I just question this and I'm like, take maybe a little of a harsh approach to it, but I got to question some things,
Yeah, I'm just curious as to Lemon's insistence on within 30 seconds of conversing, calling me people like you. Wow. Didn't take long, did it?
Lemonberg, I always try to find being a skeptic is always healthy. I am a very skeptic person. Now, if you put in a scale evidence for rotating spherical Earth, heliocentric model, big universe, vast distances, millions and billions of years. If you put all the evidence and data in one side of the coin, right here, in one side of the scale, and then in the other side of the scale, you put flat Earth, stationary, dome, ether, and all this stuff in the other side, evidence, data collected, dude, there's no chance. I mean, the globe just make a hole through the hole all the way down to fucking China, you know? So it's still really good. So Lemon Bird, then I say like, yeah, if I put weight, one side globe, one side flat, I mean, there's no chance. I'm going to have to go with where the data and evidence is. I'm going to go with the globe, and while still looking for this flat earth evidence, data, and evidence and all that kind of shit. Why can't you and everybody do the same thing? They say, all right, well, as for right now, Earth is a sphere. It rotates everything at top. Until I can find alternatives, I can find explanations, and I can find something to actually give me a little bit of a gravy and juice, you know, a little bit of substance to back up my claim. But but I don't find that. What do you think? Why can't you do that? Adopt the globe and still trying to then propose this flat Earth to see if it gets peer review. As for right now, every single day that you come here, I call that a peer review, and you're failing. That's my point of view, you know, my perspective. Nothing wrong with that, and I give you kudos for trying, but still, you know, there's no substance in the things you say. What do you think?
Well, the other side is just saying too many contradictory things. They're saying that we've proved that the Earth moves, but they don't have a framework to offer proof. The only way that you can prove that you're moving is if you're moving through a substance. But out the other side of their mouth, they say that space is not a substance. They say it's a vacuum where there's nothing to move through. So how can you prove that you're moving? When we're in the car and the windows are up and we see the scenery passing by, we're like, could the scenery be moving or could I be moving? The way that you break the tie between those two relativistic stances is you put your hand out the window and feel the wind, the substance of the wind against your hand. The heliocentrics deny the substance, the ether that the Earth would have to be moving through. So it is extremely contradictory, Jose, that they're saying out of one side of their mouth, we know we're moving, but out the other side of their mouth, they don't even have a framework to offer evidence. And when they had a framework, the ether, it was giving ether drift speeds that are much slower than heliocentrism, at least at 30 kilometers per second or 66,000 miles through space would demand. So because of their contradictory claims, they're going to have to be rejected for a more consistent narrative, something flat.
But if I want to look for evidence for all this that you just told me, all I'm going to find the evidence is for the contrary of what you are saying. And what you're saying, I got to take it in face value as a testimony of one guy giving me some kind of information, but I'm not going to find any of that. If I want to look up for how the Earth moves, why does it move, about the space, about with the air and all this shit, I'm going to find all the information, and everything points to the heliocentric model, to the rotating sphere that we live in. That's the key. Remember, all the information points to rotating sphere. None of it points to flat
It points to a flat, motionless, stationary Earth. I'm going to find evidence to the contrary for what you say, too, and I'm going to have to take what you say on faith as well. So we'll see what actual evidence there is for this 30 kilometer per second ether drift or whatever people are trying to cobble together out of whole cloth, as opposed to the 5 to 8 kilometers per second or the lower speeds that they typically get. Chaiki, you were saying?
Yeah, I was saying that you had a flaw in your reasoning for testing if you're the things moving around you, because you didn't consider that the air is moving with what's everything around you. So maybe you feel wind. That doesn't mean that you're moving.
So at that point, you're just saying everything can be moving. If everything's moving, why do you distinguish what's moving from something else? Why does it look like some things are moving less than other things? And at the very least, if something's moving less than something else, we have some sort of standard to see if the wind is moving, the car is moving, or whatever.
If you stood next to one of those carnival rides that spins real fast, you can feel wind from the carnival ride. So you're not moving, the carnival ride is moving.
Well, at the very least, you need some sort of substance to move through. And since you guys don't have a framework to offer evidence or proof, that makes your claim very lacking.
There is no evidence of any substance moving. That's the biggest problem.
That's why we know we can't tell.
Well, that's what we see in the interferometer, Hugh Janus, when we split the light and it comes back out of phase, like one or both of the rays were slowed down by something. The
That's
question
very nice.
is, by
That's very nice.
relativity, whether we're moving and or the substance of space itself is moving, just like you were
Yeah,
saying with the
that's
wind.
Yes, I
that's
was
very nice.
saying, hold on,
That's very
I
nice.
was saying that's why we know we can't tell who is moving. We can't tell, Lemon.
So
who is
your main
moving.
point is we can't tell, then why do you feel comfortable declaring that we're heliocentric and moving around the sun? Even that's contradictory.
It's
You're
not.
declaring that you know
Hold
on
on.
one hand, but you're saying we can't know out of the other. So that's
None
contradictory.
of that is
Hold on, hold on.
contradictory.
Hold on, please. Hold on. 10 seconds. Everybody, come on. You know, there's 50 plus people watching the stream. There was 56 almost, 55 now. Why do we only have 25 likes? Or do I have to refresh the page? It's like very weak. The support via thumbs up is, I mean, come on, guys, hit the like now. Everybody go ahead and hit that like now. Let's get 45 thumbs up now. There you go. Let's do it. And please support. There's a super chat feature. Throw your comment, questions, or concerns, or trolling responsible comments using that, or actual PayPal will help me a lot too. So support by liking, supporting, and sharing the show. Boom.
Yeah, so first we can tell that Earth is rotating because that's not moving, that's accelerating. It's also accelerating around the sun. We don't tell this by measuring it directly, but other observation we know. Yes, like the gravity is a thing that, however you look at it, things should follow certain paths around each other. That's how we know, Lemon.
Also, yeah, very. The water-filled telescope didn't have to be tilted anymore to see the stars. So that implies that the Earth isn't moving.
What don't have to be tilted?
The
Actually-
water-filled telescope in Airy's failure.
Failure. Another failure that you find it somehow as an evidence for what you claim when it was a fail to prove it?
Well, it's a known fact in astronomy or whatever that you have to tilt the telescope to see the stars at the right angle. They liken this to going through the rain. The rain is coming down directly from the heavens or whatever, just like the light from the stars, but you have to tilt the umbrella in the rain once you start moving through it to keep the rain from hitting your face. That's why they think they have to tilt the telescope, because something is moving shaky in Airy's failure. So Airy had the dilemma of trying to determine if the Earth was moving and or if it was just the stars moving over the Earth. So he reasoned pretty ingeniously that if you fill a telescope with water, you'd have to tilt the telescope more if the Earth was moving. That would be like moving through the rain with the umbrella and weighing down the umbrella with a bunch of weights. To keep the umbrella at a similar orientation, you're going to have to tip it a bit more. The umbrella will, not point properly. So just like with the Earth moving, you'd have to tip the telescope more if it was filled with water, and they could calculate the refraction that would be expected on, the Earth based off the principle.
When was this done?
So,
failure
long
done?
story short, gentlemen, they didn't have to tilt the telescope anymore once they filled it with water. The light was already coming in at the right angle, implying that the Earth is motionless and at rest, and that there's no additional need to tip a telescope filled with water because only the stars are moving, not the Earth.
Okay.
Because I think you got it all wrong, Lemon, because Airy thought that you don't need to tilt the telescope at all when you fill it with water. And you
when
have
was
to
this?
tilt it just the same.
When was this done? When was Airy's failure? What year?
I think it was the early 1900s or something like that. I'd have to look at the time.
Really?
Yeah, 1800s, early 1900s. I'd have to look.
So before satellites and before space travel. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, noted.
I say that one time a while ago. Why are we, most of the flat earthers, when trying to point to an argument or some kind of evidence, you got to go 100 years, I go 50, 60, 70 years ago. What the fuck happened? I mean, I made the same argument with these people. Well, human walk on the moon, we landed on the moon. I call bullshit. That happened, if it happened 50, 60 years ago. It haven't been done in recent time since all the big evolution of technology in the past 40, 50 years. I mean, I don't think that has been done. I don't think any of this shit have been done. Let's talk about what's happening today from the 2000s and now. It's been 22 years. Technology evolved. We got a lot of data. We got more fine-tuned tools and gadgets to measure all kinds of shit. So let's stop talking about the fucking past and live in the fucking today. Damn it. I got a super chat by Earth is Life for $5. Lemon, where are you going to find this evidence? And when you do find it, what makes people who are giving you this evidence credible? All right, I gotta read this again. Lemon, where are you going to find this evidence, and when do you find it? What makes the people who are giving you this evidence credible? There you go.
The consistency of the narrative, consistency with what we already know, consistency with other observations, the way it's all coming together, consistency with our already held beliefs, our already held bias. Yeah.
So by consistency, Lemon, you just mean correlating to something else which is also unsubstantiated.
Well, take for instance the Michelson-Morley versus the Michelson-Gale experiment.
Here we go.
Together for consistency. In Michelson-Morley, they were trying to basically clock the movement of the Earth through the ether, but they got null results. Basically, they didn't get enough of a result to say that we're moving around the Earth 30 kilometers per second fine. But they use a similar setup for Michelson-Gale and get the movement that they expect.
Please may I be rude?
The Earth. So we have a dilemma here. We have an
Jose, we're back to the 19th century.
There's not enough ether that's discoverable. I haven't even gone a minute.
But let's keep it short.
Jose, just said let's not go in the 19th century.
Yeah, I mean, consistency to me, Lemon, then would be if I look at the distance, the size, the angle, and inclination to the known ecliptic of our solar system and predict the exact path of the sun through the sky based on anybody's location at any month, and it is consistent. Would you say that's fair to me? Is it fair for me to assume that in all these data points, in all this consistency, that it is in fact the most true of all the models?
He left.
He left, yeah. He didn't like being interrupted. He wanted to talk his
I apologize. I apologize. But you said, why the heck are we in the 19th century? The first thing he says when he comes back is, well, Mike and Morley.
Yeah, I know. It's bullshit. There's no evidence of none of that in recent times, It's all bullshit.
When he goes on about consistency, well, the consistency of my little planet solar model that works 100% of the time, all the time, is consistent. That with, latitude, longitude from GPS satellites in a WGS 84 coordinate system for measuring the curvature of the Earth, of which many people who come to this channel have actually done. That's consistency. The consistency is the heliocentric globe model. Is so consistent, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's also consistent with the experiences of people who've been into space, and rather than encountering some imagined treacle, it is indeed a void. So all of the people come back consistently and say the same thing. So,
I think when a flat earther brings up a turn of the 19th century example, we need to look for turn of the 1800s example and just go even further back.
Let's just go back to the Romans.
Yeah. Just see if we can get pre-BC and then see how he feels.
Well, Aristarchus said.
Yeah, well, we gotta try to. I said we're gonna try to one day when we have somebody like another situation, we're gonna disregard everything they say if it hasn't happened in the past. 20 years at least. Science is being repeated and elaborated, and we got a lot of more data than we had 40 and 50 years ago. We actually do today of the advancement in technology. So why to go back what happened 50 years, 100 years ago, when we can look at today's data, when we got more of details on it?
I mean, one of the most damning things that could, so based on the assumption that the Earth is flat, and we are being lied to immensely by pretty much everyone except ourselves and a small little group that we're in, you could, in fact, if you were slightly above, well, no, even slightly below average intelligence.
That's me. Thank you. Yeah, that's me.
You could then pick any number of subjects, staple subjects, to tear apart and say, hey, look, these don't work and you're being lied to. And it would be so easy to demonstrate. So the heliocentric model with the sun position through the sky, GPS satellites, an accelerometer, you would be able to do it. So you wouldn't need extreme intelligence to be able to debunk the heliocentric model if it was false. You really would not.
No, the Stingray is absolutely correct. It really wouldn't take much effort. In fact, I actually had a direct interaction with Bob Nodell and asked him why he doesn't measure the distance to the moon. This is years ago now. And he said, oh, it's impossible. And so, it was in a chat. I said, well, aren't you a ham radio operator? Yeah, but I don't have a telescope. But, no friends that you could get to use that radio telescope, whatever. And no, it's totally impossible. It's strange. It just seems that with the resources that they have at their disposal, they could very, very easily debunk things like the distance to the moon or the distance to the sun, but instead we get tales of treacle and ether and whatever else. It's all very fanciful, but it's not. It just isn't reality, though.
I mean, let's think about it. Just a little thought exercise. You and I want to prove that the moon, which for all intents and purposes looks like a solid rock and acts like a solid rock,
right,
it isn't 250,000 miles away.
Right.
So we only need to establish two things. We need to establish the speed of light, which we could go and get a reasonably simple circuit and design it with a little sensor to read, bounce off a mirror. And then what we could do is we could measure the variance in that speed based on what's in the medium. Right. And then we could come up with a huge error tolerance of how, the fractional reduction that the medium gives. And then say, this is our minimum and our maximum. Now let's fire this at the so-called moon and figure out what it is. How easy would that be?
Why have they not done this? Even if you had a 20% error, even if you had some massive error margin, it still wouldn't work out to be 3,000, however far they think it is. It would still give us a distance of hundreds of thousands of miles. So the fact that they haven't done it, even, let's say there is some ether, there's some magic treacle in the sky, how much of an effect would the light, would it have on the light? I mean, it wouldn't be too great because you could measure that down here, surely. I don't know. Yeah, but the fact that they haven't done this, there are certain things. This is what triggers my mind in this way. There are certain things that I notice that flat earthers simply don't do. For example, flat earthers love to show, and I saw this in a chat last night, I think it was. They love to show the astronauts, Apollo 11 astronauts, in the press conference looking miserable. What they don't show is, and someone, if you're in the chat somewhere on Discord, if you could possibly find pictures of this and put it in the chat, they don't show the ticker tape parades that they held for the Apollo astronauts when they arrived back.
What picture you want? What picture?
Just Apollo 11 ticker tape parade, New York City. They had huge, and it's been forgotten by most people now, but they had huge parades. And they had this great big American open top car, and they were sitting in the back of it. and parading down the streets in New York with ticker tape coming out of the sky, you know, and they're all cheering and smiling, and everyone's happy. They don't show those pictures, but they show them miserable at the press conference. And aha, you see, Apollo 11 astronauts were miserable. Look, they look guilty.
There's 2 shots from the press conference. Take note of the one on the right, where all 3 astronauts are happy and smiling.
There you go. Why don't they show those pictures?
Never show that one.
Right. So there is an inherent dishonesty in the entire concept of flat Earth. It's from top to bottom. I believe it to be an entirely dishonest position to take, because there are certain things that, certain experiments, for example, the moon, or do an Antarctica trip and prove the sun is, you know, not above the ground 24 hours a day in the summer. Certain things are not being done. It's just, it's strange, but I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. I really don't.
You've got to lie to Fleur.
That's it.
Yeah, but that not everybody uses this as for like, oh, this is evidence, and everybody is not in the same camp either. That's for
it's true.
You're addressing the people that, you know, that point this as for some kind of evidence. I know it's not for everybody. I hope it's not for everybody.
It's a general. It's science by meme, right? It's evidence by meme.
Yes.
Well, I think
meme defeats all.
Yeah, you can't call this evidence. You can interpret it as a story and use inference to connect it to whatever the hell you want. But I could say this, you know, them looking very, very upset and all that kind of stuff is they just dislike the secret rectal exam that happen when they come back from space.
That's a secret, dude.
I know. But it works for the narrative, right?
You could make up anything, exactly. They're really aliens, and their programming hadn't kicked in. They're replaced by clones, and the full programming wasn't all in their brains at that point. It's just, you could make up anything. In fact, people do.
I still like I still like the ideas of taking something tangible and then trying to invalidate the globe. So the moon orientation, simultaneously take photos from different locations on this beautiful flat Earth to show that, hey, the orientation doesn't change consistent with a sphere.
I applaud the genius who thought of that simplistic evidence. And as soon as I heard that, I thought to myself, gracious, they're right. If the moon was like a disk floating overhead, it would change as it went, like a plane does or anything does.
Mm.
But it doesn't. Oh, all right.
Well,
and it doesn't get bigger or smaller during the day. All right.
Yeah, to be honest, it does actually change size a little bit. You got to be careful with that. But
by what? 2%?
Oh, less than 2%. In a day, or less than 2%.
Before you guys continue, I want to share this. This is Dana White in a post fight conference press, in a post fight interview in a fight night a little while ago. He looks like tired and worried. I don't think that event took place. I don't think that fight ever happened.
I think he's come back from fake space.
Yeah, he's just here like, I don't know, he's making shit up. He's worried, he's sad, he's tired. He was threatened to sit down in front of the public and talk about this fight that never happened. Who knows? Just saying.
I think he keeps forgetting that he's bald, and he's just realized at that moment by feeling the top of his head again that he's bald. It's a vicious cycle that he goes through like 20 times a day.
I'm sorry. I was distracted by Michael Collins's mustache.
and that meme that Earth is Life posted when they says, "Oh, well, these men just got back from landing on the moon." Yes, a month before. That press conference took place about a month after they got back.
Yes.
Obviously not just because they were kept in isolation for a while.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you seen the footage when they got back of Nixon talking to the astronauts when they were in their trailer thingy, whatever it was, their capsule?
Yes.
Nixon standing there talking to him, laughing and
all laughing and joking, and what was it, a dreamline or whatever they call it? I can't remember.
I watched that about 2 years ago, and it was marvelous. It was quite inspiring.
Yeah,
but I'm sort of sympathetic with Flip Flop, Jose, with the issues with the moon, getting to the moon. I totally agree. It's disappointing that NASA's only now talking about going to the moon, and it's going to take another few years. I'm absolutely with the excuses. We don't have the funding or the motivation or whatever. It's kind of a bit weak to me. I think they should have had a moon base already. In my mind, I'm a futurist. I like stuff like this.
Yeah,
So,
because now it will take a lot longer now to actually attempt to do any manned mission further away than the moon, because they have to. The first step to go to send men further than the moon, they have to have some kind of a base on the moon first. And I was told that's not true. Well, that is true. That you have to accept. It is true. You have to have a base, something set, stable on the moon, so you can test the tools outside the Earth. You can test the astronaut, the outfits, the machinery, everything. You have to test it outside the moon, and that is what is all over the NASA, official websites and everything. You have to have this base built on the moon and do a lot of tests before attempting to send men further than that.
It is. It's just again, as a futurist, it starting to get to the point where we're going to be doing that in a few years. And I mean, it's yeah.
Yeah, but Anus, you get why we haven't gone back, right?
Okay.
So there's farmers will tell you there's loads of reasons he's better at this than I am, but I'll do the computation technology bit. It is infinitely more expensive because we have actually lost the manufacturing process that creates electronics so fucking big that they are unaffected by bit flipping in cosmic radiation.
Yes.
We now have small transistors that can change charge instantly just from shit from the fucking sun. Even here on Earth, with the various protections we have of layers of the atmosphere and the ionosphere, we still have something called error correction memory in computers that you don't want to randomly crash because they run dual they run dual dependency checks for this cosmic radiation that's actually caused errors in memory.
Yeah, and people, it's a very superficial view that is, that they have on these things, and that is one of the a bit of the deep dive. The electronics question there is a very fascinating one. I mean, what are we, 4 nanometers right now for most, a lot of computers? There's a lot
of processors now that are in play at 2 nanometers. But the other thing is, what are we going to do? Study more space rock. So what we do is a completely new, different shielding technology. We increase the budget 5-fold because manufacturing process for creating redundant systems that are shielded in different ways and spread out with synchronous processing to allow error checking on systems like this are so hard and complex to create. But let's do it because we really want to study more space rock on the moon. It's like, what are we doing? It's ridiculous.
It's a conundrum, isn't it? I think the Mars ambition, I think, is what will drive it, and I think going back to the moon, to counterpoint to Jose's cynicism, the counterpoint to that is people have always made progress regardless of whether some believe it to be worth the effort or not. We are going to Mars. Eventually, people will land on Mars. That's inevitable. That's going to happen. So to do that, we have to make certain steps first.
Yep, to do that, for me to entertain the idea and say that's going to happen in the future, they have to do the first step, which is build in the moon first. for me to at least entertain the idea that that might happen in the future. As for right now, it's never going to happen because they haven't even done the first step, which is going back to the moon and start building there.
Process is
Yeah, I think the requirement. I think. Well, obviously, everything's driven by economics and very, very in-depth requirement analysis. The requirement to go back to the moon is 0. It's being more than 0 now because of the plans that it would provide an intermediate launch platform for further exploration. In which case, now it's like, maybe we should go back because that's a compelling reason. But the thing is, could we ramp everything up, spend shitloads of money, time, and technology, and get there in a couple of months? Quite possibly, putting all the resources on it. Absolutely, I think we could. Yeah. Is it fucking worth it? Because we're not going to be using it this side of 10 years. Probably fucking not.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult, pragmatically and economically. It's difficult in some respects to justify. But, I can share a few things once we're off air, Jose, by the way. With regards to the moon mission.
Yep. Good times. 61 people in this chat. Holy shit. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. Like this video, share the show, support. I'm going to stay another 10, 15 minutes and then wrap up with final thoughts.
Cool.
I've just read a thing for Barnes Truths in the side chat, and he calls it an intelligent question. But at the end of your intelligent question is, well, then it needs to be a flat Earth, basically. But if you change your intelligent question, whereby we're querying the geometry of a bowling ball, would that mean a bowling ball has to be flat as well? Think about that for a bit.
It's a pity Lemon left. I was interested in this treacle of his.
Don't worry, he'll probably be telling that for the next 5 years.
I was wondering if it's. I mean, Chris Hadfield said that space smells of what did he say? Burnt? No, was it burnt toast, steak, or something?
Isn't that him having a stroke?
Yeah, I thought space smelt with gunpowder.
Something like that. Yeah, space smells of burnt toast. If you smell
burnt toast, you're having a stroke. Yeah,
or something. So I was wondering if Lemon could tell us what the flavor of this treacle would be.
Ooh. Yeah. There.
Copper. Oh wait, copper is the taste of blood. Sorry.
Blood's coppery.
Mr. Jose, I found an oldie but a goodie for you. A little video on static electricity.
Nice.
Chat for you.
Right. Yeah. I'll save it and I'll see what the source is and all that good stuff before attempting to play it, and a possible copyright strike might happen. So I'll look it up. Thank you very much.
No problem. No problem. Can they actually copyright you on anything from the 60s?
Yeah. Yeah, depends on what archives have what libraries and stuff having archived. Because
who holds it?
Differ. Yeah, the rules differ. Yeah, different archives and the owners of this specific, company, whatever.
Oh, I thought everything after like 25 or 30 years became free domain.
It would have to be listed public domain, right? I mean, Paramount or someone owns all of the Laurel and Hardy films, or whatever. So playing them would be, you get in trouble with Paramount, that type of thing. Ancient pictures, but they're owned by somebody.
Okay, well, do what you got to do to validate it. I just thought it was kind of cool. And
like right in the description box on this video, produced by American Gas Association and the Department of the Interior to show the hazards of electricity. Right, the photo is provided by the Alaskan aviation safety, but say conversion and upload provide by supercub.org. And there's a link in here, so I got to go to supercub.org and see what their, what the about page say about using their material.
Ah, cool. Okay, no problem.
Oh, it's good. Yeah, I appreciate it.
I learn something new every day.
And some of them say like, yeah, you can replay and use this for whatever. But some of them say you cannot monetize this, or you gotta either alter it or you cannot alter the content. So there's a little bit of a little tweak that you even have to do or not do in some of the videos. And say if you want to use any of our content, email us at this address. So I email like, hey, I got a little YouTube channel. I'd like to play this. Is that cool? And they'll say yes or no.
Okay. Yeah, I would. If I had my own channel, I would have just played it. Then I would have gotten stuck.
I know, that's what I did in my old channel until I got like kind of a bunch of like warnings and copyrights every once in a while for that shit till I learned my lesson.
In the Discord chat, Stinky's posted details on copyright.
So I came up with a new test for the flat Earth community that I'm gonna need somebody else to do for me because I'm lazy and don't want to spend any effort on it. But if you fly a plane due north or due south and you put an a high precision accelerometer on it, you should see a 2 mile per hour per minute or a 0.015 G lateral force, showing that your plane is moving sideways. It's accelerating sideways, even though you're following a dead straight line.
Interesting.
What do you guys think about this image stack up of image of the moon? It's crazy. This is Andrew McCarthy on Twitter. I was comparing 3 images of the moon I took over 10 days and noticed the horizon was revealing less lunar terrain as it approached opposition. This is due to the libration, a different view of the moon thanks to its elliptical orbit. Nice. Thank you,
Very
okay,
cool.
for sharing that. Yeah.
A really good one that I just saw. I mean, it's not a detailed one like this, but was the same thing with Saturn over 3 years. And it shows you Saturn oscillating, and it's as predicted by the heliocentric model, by the way.
Yeah, of course. That's awesome. So the moon over 10 days, well, over a single night, if it was close, would change in size far greater to a far greater degree than we see.
No, it's actually it's not about the size. It is it's stacked like this, so you can see the difference. So the difference is not in size. This is just for demonstration purposes. It's on the amount of surface that we see.
Pardon me.
Yeah. So you see this little bit of surface over here over this big ass one of these seas or the lake, whatever they call it. You see a little bit more over here, and you see a lot more in the other one. So
yeah, I'm on my phone and my eyes are going.
yeah. Indeed.
Okay,
yeah.
I get it.
It's actually the amount we see one another.
I think I've seen.
You got up.
I've seen time lapses of the moon also, and the way it wobbles. It's amazing. Love it.
Oh yes, it does sort of wobble back and forth, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We're about a month away from our first Artemis moon mission.
Yes, we are.
Yes, May. we covered that in some detail yesterday. Sort of.
Well, I wasn't here, so go over it again.
The other day they rolled out. They had a dry rehearsal of the SLS and Artemis 1, and then it will get rolled back inside that dirty great big shed, circled and fiddled with, and when they roll it out again, it will be a wet rehearsal. And then ultimately, I think it's May that they
it's May.
Yeah, May is the launch for the unmanned Artemis 1 mission to the moon. It's going to go around and orbit the moon, I think, several times.
Can we convince them to just toss like a flat earther on there as like a
That's some
Well,
weight. Some
well, I
ballast.
suspect there might be, because there are going to be on board 2 dummies.
What replaced?
There are going to be two dummies to act as crew members, and I saw that and thought, oh, you're putting a pair of flat earthers up there, are you? You know.
All I heard was Aunt May. Like Uncle Ben, Aunt May. That's all I heard.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's the problem is that it being unmanned. Well, I say a problem. There obviously won't be any life support as such. I'm guessing.
Right.
So yeah, put a couple of flat earthers on board.
Well,
they'll
they may
ride for a bit.
Yeah. Again, this I can talk more about. I can talk about that more when we're off air.
Can I go? Can I go to space?
Have you got the money?
No,
That's
I
it.
do not.
That really is it. There is no more excuse. There is no more. For the longest time, everyone will agree. We heard space tourism's never going to happen. They've been telling us space tourism's coming. It is never happening. It isn't going to. They said that again and again. Well, now it is happening.
But I think what you call "quote unquote" space tourism, I think it just happened once when this guy sent some people and they did a few orbits around the Earth. That's what I call a little bit of a space. But this like a higher, further from the Earth, this parabolic flight thing. I don't consider that space exploration. I consider that a good quick ride.
Yeah,
I don't
agree.
consider those space, but there was one of those dudes that did just a few months ago that they did a few orbits. I consider that kind of space exploration. That's fair, yeah. But it's not happening.
Isaacson.
It just happened one time.
Yeah, that
happened.
was Isaacson.
Yeah, they've done like 4 or 5 have gone to the ISS. I would call that space tourism.
Yeah, there's also Hello Moon. SpaceX is sending artists to go around the moon. Look up Hello Moon.
Yes, but there have been private individuals, albeit very rich, over the last almost the lifespan of the ISS. I think one guy went up there twice. And they are civilians. They're not connected with any space agency at all. But they had enough money to say, can I buy myself a ride to the ISS and stay up there for a couple of weeks or whatever?
I just want to point out, Captain Kirk did it for free as well.
Yes.
Well, yes, but if you want to say, okay, actually going into space and orbiting the Earth or going aboard the ISS, it's been done by several private individuals. Like so,
we have already seen that many times, and none of them were like private individuals. They all had links with NASA and space agencies, bro. I mean, and military, NASA, space agencies, all of them. I mean, we've been through this, Farmers Boy, really.
No, Isaacson's mission was first all civilian space trip.
Yep.
SpaceX, 4 of them. Haley, Arsenault, I can't remember all the names.
What did they do?
They orbited higher than the ISS. The furthest orbit.
So one
for
time,
30 years.
One
yes,
time.
But I mean, I know. It's just that it's so massively expensive right now, and there's so few people that can afford really to do it. The guy that went to the ISS, I think twice, was Richard Garriott, Texan.
Yeah, but what I hear and what Farmers Boy maybe imply, that's done all the time. That's just normal thing to do. No, it's not.
I never said it was done all the time. I said it's been going on for quite some time. Space tourism isn't new. Yes, not if you go back over the life of the ISS, there aren't that many who have gone up, but they have. And they've been, very rich people. But if you've got enough
new,
money,
2 or 3 times it's been done. That's something new when 2 or 3 times only have been done.
Isaacson chose 3 total civilians and paid for their way, so they did not have to have any money to go. They didn't pay; they were paid to do that. or rather, there's no money exchanged. They just went for the.
And these people have no links with military or
Yes,
any NASA,
look up-
any space agencies whatsoever.
Look up Haley Arsenault is a cancer survivor. She went up. She was like 22 or something.
That was the
No-
reason one day they just happened.
Well, yeah, but you got to realize that she actually works at a 7-Eleven that's a couple of 100 miles away from NASA, and a NASA personnel actually stopped there once.
And do you believe that is linked to NASA, Moyogman? Tell us, why do you believe that?
That's a link to NASA. That's clearly a link.
So you don't believe that she is just a normal person? Okay, Moyogman, ladies and gentlemen.
Technically, the world's first space tourist was an American engineer called Charles David Charlie Walker, and he flew as a payload specialist on I think it was 3 shuttle missions, and he had no connections with NASA. He didn't work for NASA. Like I said, he was an engineer, and he paid to fly on 3 shuttle missions.
What's his name?
Charles David Walker.
Okay.
He was the first non-government individual to fly in space.
I'm really looking forward to the Hello Moon trip thing. That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
That'll be civilians basically orbiting, going out to the moon and coming back.
Oh yeah, Charles David Walker goes all the way back to '84. Man, I was just graduating high school.
Okay, Charles David Walker is an American engineer and astronaut who flew on 3 space shuttle missions as a payload for whatever corporation. He is the first non-governmental individual in space, all right? The first, that's what they say. First non-governmental.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there's also... There's also Howard Wolowitz. Oh, never mind. Hold on. Never mind. Scratch that.
There was also a Saudi prince who went into space in 1985. He was the second.
So this guy he received a bachelor in science degree in aeronautical, and look what they show related to space stuff, and astronautical engineering. So he was linked to the space agency somehow. When you study to be an astronautical engineer, you are linked to the motherfucking space agencies, you fucking assholes.
The Saudi prince, the
So
prince from Saudi
1971
Arabia,
Oh, go on.
the Saudi Arabian prince has no link to any space agency. And
Oh,
he
so
went
it's
way back in
because that one was debunked, right? The one that we showed. Thank you very much. Let's try the other one.
His
We done
bachelor
this, man.
science
We done this.
degree-
All of them are linked to the space
No.
agency somehow.
Yes,
No, he's. Oh, have we gone flip flop again?
Flip-flop is right.
He got his Bachelor of Science from Purdue University.
Okay, flip-flop is right. Everyone that has been into space in that way is linked to NASA because they went into space with NASA.
Yeah, they were astronauts.
Previous to NASA, in 1971, this guy was studying something astronautical engineering, things that work for space travel. So he was linked with space agencies, for fuck's sake, way before he went up.
And I have to say to flip flop 3 words: circumstantial. So what?
Yes.
I thought you were going to say circumcision.
What?
I might hear you next time. Sit up.
Just for a second, until you completed the word.
Now, Christy McAuliffe started a little bit earlier, but that one didn't turn out so well.
Yeah, that didn't go down so well, did it?
Yeah, it says, what's this red button do?
Ooh, you had to go there, didn't you? Go on then, let her drive.
I went to the Arlington Cemetery and saw the memorial there.
Yeah. So yeah, strictly speaking, she was a civilian because she was supposed to be the first teacher in space.
Yeah.
Didn't quite make it, unfortunately.
I'm trying to remember all the first. The first woman was Mae Jemison, American woman.
Oh, I was going to say, because the first woman was Valentina Tereshkova.
Yeah. First American woman. So many names in my head of all these missions. Sally Ride. Do you remember Sally Ride?
She was the first American woman.
Was Sally Ride the first American woman?
Yeah.
Oh, Mae James was the first Black American woman.
Right.
Thank you, Sally Ride's first American. Yeah, you're right. I'm not looking at these up. I'm on my phone, but all the names just popping back in my head.
Oh. No, that ain't what I thought it was.
Can anyone name the first 2 shuttle astronauts without looking it up?
Nope, can't remember them.
Okay.
I remember watching it, but I can't
John
remember.
Young, Robert Crippen.
Say again?
John Young and Robert Crippen.
Very good. Very good.
Oh, yes, John Young. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, Young and Crippen, yep.
I was going to say captain and specialist.
Yeah, Crippen and Young, yeah.
Yes, I remember watching that at the time. Very excited. What was that, 80, 81, something like that?
Yeah, that was very cool.
All right, we're getting ready to get out of here. So flip-flop one again. No, normal, just regular people that are not linked to NASA ever flown to space. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Whatevs.
Let's do a round of final thoughts and get out of here. Damn, I claimed victory before shutting everybody down. Oh, man, classic.
I win, get out.
Yeah.
Bro, Alem, final thoughts, man.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense that somebody interested in space would want to go to space.
Yeah, bizarre.
Yeah. So it's like somebody's into baking and stuff. I think I'll go to space. I'm a baker, but all of a sudden I got a bug in my pants. I'm going to go to space. Yeah, it kind of makes sense to be related to space if they want to go to space. But yeah, sorry I missed out. I've been walking around enjoying the nice weather. Good show. Anyway, take care. Boom.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You want to give a shout out to here, too? What part of the world do you want to give a shout out? I'll point it to you. Anywhere specific? Well, let's get Brufus. Final thoughts. You want to shout out specific part of the world, and we can put it in the map right here. I'm an expert on pointing places on Earth right here. I know every single place on Earth. Farmer's Boy, final thoughts.
How specific do I have to be, or shall I just say England?
Oh, England, man. Okay, England. Well, I don't have my glasses. I don't see the shapes.
Sorry, it's a bit small. I do apologise.
Excuses.
I owe you that because I don't see the shapes of the continents and the places.
Can you find France? God help me, I'm navigating to England via France.
Oh, shit. I think I see Italy over here. I see Italy. Is that enough?
I can see
Part of Europe.
Let's put it that way. That'll do, mate. Yeah.
Okay, no, you want to see England? There you go. Yeah, there you go.
I can't now.
There you go. You see it?
No. No.
We did used to own that, by the way. Just
that
saying.
was ours. Yeah, that was ours. That was ours as well. Yeah, and that.
Yeah, England is right somewhere. It's here. Exactly right there is England. There you go. You got it.
That finishes off a fun stream, Jose. Thank you very much. I needed that.
Appreciate it, dude. I am geography illiterate. You guys
yeah,
know
we know.
that. Come on.
We know.
Fred, the even more magnificent final thoughts.
Right. I don't know whether this works or not, but you said about the sun going into the sea. How do they get it to light in the mornings?
Well, because then when it's in the sea, while it's cooling off, it's growing up and it's hauling us under the ocean, and then we got the sunrise again.
But how do they get it to light?
Because when it leaves the water, it lights up.
Reasons.
No, when it leaves the water, when it leaves the water, it light again. See?
Right. And do you know why the sun never sat on the British Empire?
Why?
Because God never trusted us.
And in God, we Americans trust.
Going.
Thank you very much. Grubus, final thoughts. How about you, Janus? Final thoughts.
Go NASA, go SpaceX.
Thank you. J Mac.
Good show. Thank you, Jose. You got to remember at the end of, not the end of the Apollo program, but 18, 19, and 20 were canceled. NASA doesn't do anything without congressional approval, and the program was canceled. They decided to look at low Earth orbit. That's why they built Skylab, Space Shuttle, ISS. Now we're going back to the moon because we have to go on to Mars. So that's kind of why we haven't been back to the moon. Thanks.
Thank you very much. I say this to your final thoughts. Thank you very much. Left lane.
Yeah, that's interesting talking about the ISS. We went to the moon. We did all that we could do there. You know, that was impractical to go back. There was no reason to go back. And then we initiated the space station, and that's been running for over 20 years. And now it's time to go back to the moon for other reasons. And yeah, I don't have an issue with anything NASA's doing. No one's 100% honest, but I do not believe NASA lies to us. Everything up there they say is up there, and so on. And your observation of the sun, Jose, an honest individual that tracks the sun by pointing at it at sunrise, noon, and sunset, and then point at it where they think it is at midnight, does not make sense on a flat Earth. You just got to be honest about that. But other than that, good show. Thanks, Jose.
Boom. Thank you very much. Very well said. Mars Mushrooms, final thoughts.
Pretty good show. Good show, actually. Real good show. But I do have a shout out, if you can find it on the globe there. It would be to our brothers and sisters who are fighting for their freedom over in Ukraine.
Yes. Somewhere around here, right? Actually, you can see it right there, right? Somewhere around there.
No.
Somewhere around there.
On it, we could, yeah. No.
Somewhere around there.
Yes. Oh, yeah, there we go. Little tip of it on the right-hand side. You need to rotate it a little bit more.
See, I told you.
Wrong way.
Wrong way.
They know where they are.
Thank you very much, man. Appreciate it. Shout out to them, man. Scroll down. Marble Merman, final thoughts.
Good show. Nice little calm show tonight. I mean, other than Lemon Bird's wild, crazy ideas of dreams and living in the 16th century, but that's normal.
Did flip-flop or did I piss you off when I said, you motherfuckers, you ain't got shit? All those people, did it piss you off? Did it piss you off like really bad, hard, or no?
You have a good day, Jose.
Thank you. Mojok Man, final thoughts.
All right. Well, first things first, you've hit several topics during this closing session, so I've got to hit them all. The moon or the sun, actually, when it goes underwater, it goes out. But as it's coming out of the water, due to the massive disturbance of air as it comes out of the water, it has a static discharge, which reignites it. The second one is why we're going back to the moon. Well, that's quite simple. It's both as a launch platform to Mars, but it also has the side benefit of being a great dick waving contest. And with China looking at going there again, I think that we have a little more motivation for going. So those two basic topics. The Earth's a globe, and nobody can argue against that with any reasonable arguments.
Thank you very much. Sean Smith, final thoughts.
Thanks, Jose. Great show today. I always appreciate the rebuttals that you have for going to the moon and everything. My final thoughts, I'd say probably a couple people in the chats, Balanced Truth and Gary Wybenga should really look at Euclidean geometry and what the applications are. because even in Euclidean geometries they attempt to describe spheres and stuff like that. So just something to think about. And all the people out there in the audience, go ahead, hit the like and subscribe. That's all I got. Thanks, Jose.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. The Stingray, flip flop on me. When I go and call you guys, you have no idea and you don't know what you're talking about because I said so. Is that so aggravating that you have to leave, or is that kind of funny to you? Final thoughts, man.
Neither really. I'm sharing, by the way, because I just want to share something really quickly. Neither, because there are only a very small, finite amount of people that I give a shit about their opinions, and they are individuals that are very close to me. And I'm afraid, Jose, you're not counted among that list. So I doubt that you can do very much to piss me off at all. And neither can anybody on the panel. And people on Flat Earth side are so fucking far down that list. They just don't even exist on it. So, but anyway, in counter to your, I put my observer in Florida, about where you are actually on the west coast of Florida, at the month that we're in, and all I have to do is rotate a sphere, and this is the path of the sun through your sky, and you can measure it. It gets there. Look at that. So that's like 80, 70, 60, 55 degrees. It rises just south of east, about 2.5 degrees, and it will set 2.5 degrees. Well, no, a little bit more. Just south of west. So this thing works all the time. Now, just in contradiction to your bullshit assertion about the sun and the sea and that, I suggest the next time you see this and postulate it, you phone someone in India who happens to have underwater snorkels because they can clearly see the sun at that moment in time. Cheers, Jose.
Thank you, Stingray. I appreciate that. Hey, but at least I try to explain it. I'm doing their job. I'm doing the Flat Earth's job. They can't do it. Well, I take the lead, take the horse by the ears, and I ride the motherfucker like there's no tomorrow. We got 2 more people over here. Gary Way Venga, final thoughts. And no name. I don't know how much you listen, but final thoughts if you got any. And that being said, thank you very much to everybody watching on YouTube for checking in and supporting the show. Hitting the like, we did good. 46 thumbs up. Remember to share the show. Come back. Make sure that the bell notification icon is on. So when we are live, you guys can come back and hang out up here for a few hours and have a little bit of fun. Support by checking on the links in the description box. Take care of yourself, take care of each other. Don't go crazy and try not to personal attack anybody in other channels. Try to deal with this topic with kindness, and I think that's the better weapon than treat the people with anger and triggering and being emotional, Just be kind and be normal, Have fun. Thank you very much, everybody over here on the panel that was here and had to leave, and thank you everybody for you guys still hanging in here. You can stay for as long as you want. Yeah, I'm out of here. Thank you for watching. The first comment in the comment section will be pinned if it's YouTube friendly. So consider going to the comment section, leaving a comment. And if it's not the first comment, still leave the comment and say that you are here, you made it. Thank you very much, everybody. Jose JG out. Boom.
Space Treacle.
I got to click over here.
Fine.